signs it.
That's Did you need one?
Later. 5-10 years from now, maybe. He's telling me that Missy packs like 6 of those skirts. She doesn't understand
I hope so. Welcome back to the National Bowling Stadium here in Reno, Nevada, the final round of match play at the U.S. Women's Open. I'm Lucas Wiseman. Our coverage today brought to you by USBC of this great women's bowling event. They are going to determine the 5 finalists for the ESPN2 broadcast here this afternoon, right here live on Bowl TV. Leanne Holsenberg versus Erin McCarthy, one of our featured matches. Also have Tennille Milligan versus Liz Johnson. Stephanie Nation against Kayla Bandy. Our defending champion, Leanne Holsenberg, to kick things off in this round and an 8-pin. So all the bowlers have bowled 32 games at this stage, and they have just 8 more to go to determine who's going to make the show. The top 5 after 40 games, including bonus pins, make the show. Coming into today, Kelly Kulick was the leader by about 150 pins or so. Missy Parkin in second place. Shannon O'Keefe third, Linda Barnes fourth, and Brenda Padilla rounds out the top 5. But there are a lot of people within striking distance of making the top 5 and getting on the show. Kayla Bandy, currently in 9th place. And she's at 71.91. There's a tie there for 9th with Yuka Shushia. Bandy currently is 152 pins outside of the show. And she's bowling Nation, who's in 8th place. 100 pins in front of her, so Kayla had a chance to make up some ground on Stephanie here this first game. Holsenberg in 15th out of 16 coming into this round, starts spare strike.
Jason Overstreet jumping in too with Lucas, who's got a bunch of different things going on here to help show you a little bit of what's going on. Also got Liz Johnson, Tennille Milligan matchup where they're both off striking to a good start. Tennille with a couple and Liz with 1.
Sorry, Jason, I'm juggling a whole bunch of things over here.
Yeah, you have about 5 people talking to you off the side as if you're not trying to do a live broadcast. It was kind of unfair, so I thought I would
Thank you.
jump in so our viewers can not be distracted by that. Stephanie Nation and Kayla Bandy. Steph with a split in the 3rd frame, so a double split for Stephanie, spare strike for Kayla to start things out. We'll do our best to keep you up to speed, trying to show you 3 matches here concurrently, and I know that that's a lot to look at, but that you'd rather see more matches and get a chance to keep an eye on 6 players instead of just 4, so that's our setup here this afternoon for this last day of match play.
Yeah, and the reason why we've got the three pairs is because in the position round we're going to have the 1 versus 2 match, 3 versus 4, and 5 versus 6. And that'll be the important one to determine the seeding for the show and who makes the show.
Third frame for Bandy. Can't get the 10 pin out. Over now to Liz's third frame. And she rebounds from that split nicely. Back to Erin McCarthy, who's kind of the sleeper of the bowlers that are in contention really to make the TV show, most within striking distance, the top 5. You know, the rest really what's almost become familiar names of those that are expected to be at the top. McCarthy, a recent collegiate headliner. See if this could be her chance to emerge on the big stage. Tennille Milligan's got that look again where she's just really got a nice ball roll going. Focused, 10 in the pitch. She was really angry at the end of the day yesterday. She was bowling really well, and then all of a sudden her last match of the day had a couple of 7-10s, got blown away by a 290 something from
298.
Can't remember what Shannon bowled. And
298.
That knocked Tennille out of the 5th spot and into the 6th. And talked with her husband, Jason Milligan, says sometimes Tennille bowls better when she's angry, and that she can channel that. Could be a big day for her today, and it's looking that way out the gate. We'll see if she can make it 4 in a row here.
Well, the top 5 are going to make the show, and we've got 16 players bowling, and the difference between 5th place and 16th place is it's Rocio Restrepo in 16th. She's 336 pins outside of 5th, which is a lot of ground to make up. But there are 8 games and 30 bonus pins for every win. So I don't think that anybody is out of the cut yet.
No, you could always have a big run.
That's true. And Rocio started 3 in a row, 8 spare, so you never know who's going to make a run. You know, for players like Rocio Restrepo and Leanne Holsenberg, they've got to have a big block. Same for Brittany Hamilton, Rachel Perez, and Liz Johnson. All the players at the bottom of the standings really have to string together a lot of strikes today in order to have a shot at making the top 5. But nobody is completely out of it yet. And you never know that if the folks at the top start having some rough games and the folks at the bottom start having some good games, things start to tighten up real fast, and all of a sudden we got ourselves a race to the finish.
Some interesting news today, Lucas, about another major championship, the USBC Masters, having some formal dates set for next year.
Yeah, it's going to be next February.
February from the 18th to the 24th. So February 18th to the 24th, and visiting the East Coast for the Masters. So be sure to keep that in mind for all those competitive bowlers. I know there'll be a few of the women that we're seeing here that will bowl the USBC Masters. There'll be registration available on bowl.com later this summer. So once again, mark your calendars for that middle of February, the 18th through the 24th for the USBC Masters in 2013.
And it'll be at Brunswick Zone Carolier in North Brunswick, New Jersey. And they're going to change the format a little bit of the Masters in 2013, go into 15 games of qualifying, no cashers round, so everybody will bowl 15 games, and then they'll cut to the bracket and have a 5-person stepladder for the show and a 2-hour TV show instead of a 4-person show that lasts an hour, or an hour and a half, I should say.
So a little bit different, but
Erin McCarthy.
Single pin miss for Erin. It's a little bit different with the USBC Masters, different location, a little bit different TV show and some format tweak, but hopefully changes that players will like. And again, there'll be more details on that coming up in the near future on bowl.com. Still plenty of time ahead of that, but I thought we'd share that news with you as That's something that's been worked out and official with all the various entities that needed to be able to have their schedules align.
Three, 6, 9, 10 for McCarthy. She trails by 3 against Holstenberg.
There's a quick look at the scoreboard in that contest.
Aaron had the lead before she missed that single pin.
Back down to Milligan Johnson. 6th frame for Milligan. And that is a double on that.
32 pin lead now.
Saw her leave that week 10 a little while ago, and other than that, she has been very consistently effective. Over to Kayla Bandy. Strike for Bandy in the 6th as we check in with the scoreboard over on that contest. Stephanie Nation top of the scoreboard. Kayla Bandy down below. Meanwhile, Liz Johnson has struck in that contest, and it looks like Leanne Holstenberg will be the next of our group on the approach. So if you're just joining us, you're watching live coverage of bowling's U.S. Women's Open here on Bowl TV. I'm Jason Overstreet along with Lucas Wiseman. Appreciate your joining us. We are at the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, Nevada. Fantastic venue. City of Reno, great hosts. Our host hotels here, the Tri Properties, have been wonderful to everyone associated with this event and with BPA's International Bowl Expo. Thank you very much to Circus, El Dorado, and Silver Legacy. Just make it so easy to come here and enjoy a bowling event. It's just a short walk. The weather's been terrific. Really, everyone has really enjoyed their stay. Also, of course, want to thank the Brands of Ebonite International Ebonite, the presenting sponsor of bowling's U.S. Women's Open. Also want to thank Janiking and Lipton for their sponsorship of this event, helping make it possible. It's going to be a terrific spectacle for the sport of bowling when the finals are contested on the streets of Reno underneath the iconic Reno Arch. The question is, which 5 bowlers will be part of history? And that is what we will find out here in the next 8 games. Tennille Milligan, 7th frame, looking for 3 in a row. And she goes high and has a split to deal with. Take a look at Nation's spare conversion in the 7th. Stephanie with an 8-pin lead in that contest with Kayla Bandy. It's kind of a tight one. Erin McCarthy now.
This one's pretty close too, Jason. Erin leads by 1 with a strike. Yep, gets the strike, so maintains that 1-pin lead with 3 frames to go here in this match. It's so important to get those 30 bonus pins, especially if you're outside of the top 5, because it can really add to your tally.
Now, when you look at the separation of the players in the standings, that match play record is a real determining factor.
Tennille Milligan, after the open in the 7th, she still has the lead. And there's a strike in the 8th. Still a 17-pin lead for 10-10. That's her nickname, 10-10. Let's look at the scoreboard. 10-10 and LJ. Let's go with all nicknames. It'd be like Chris Berman.
You've been waiting, I feel like you've been waiting for Liz Johnson to get on a roll and to just kind of usually see these tournaments that Liz gets hot and just starts really knocking them down, and she just
I don't see it happening.
She hasn't quite done it this event, and you know, not that she's bowling poorly by any stretch. You get kind of spoiled to some of the incredible runs that Liz Johnson can be on, and we haven't seen one of those runs from her yet.
No, to be honest, Jason, I think if you asked her, she said she's bowling poor. I bet she would say she's bowling poorly. Because anytime you don't see her throwing strikes, she'll say she's bowling poorly. Because she's used to striking a lot, and it's not very like Liz to struggle like this. Because I fully expected her to come out here and just absolutely whack him in the first round of match play yesterday, and she didn't do it.
Yeah, well, she
kind of fell apart.
Liz bowling poorly is, you know, far better than most of us could dream of on our best day.
That's exactly right. But she is human.
But yeah, by her standards, it's not been what we've been accustomed to, especially because she has been bowling quite well. She made the TV show last year. Likes the format.
Yeah, the format definitely works well for her. But she may just not have the right look here this week to make a run at it.
So McCarthy has doubled, putting Holzenberg in a situation where it's an important shot here in the 8th. She does not get the 4-pin. And really, that our defending champ, you know, Leanne has some work to do to try to make it onto the show, but much more within reach for Erin McCarthy, who, as I mentioned earlier, if there's kind of a sleeper, might be her.
Yeah, coming into the day, she's, let's take a look here, 51 pins outside of the show. So that's nothing. I mean, with 8 games to go, it's virtually nothing. It might as well be 0.
Yeah, she's right there.
Yeah.
Which
but
makes,
Leanne is 300 pins out of the show, which is a lot different.
Yeah. So being that Erin's in that group, you know, they're fighting for those last few spots on TV, you know, along with Tennille, who just leaves a unforgiving 9-pin, makes the bonus pins that much more important.
Well, Erin McCarthy is young, and this is probably the farthest she's ever been in a major championship. So the keys for her, she has to make her spares. She already has a missed spare, giving away 11 pins. When you're only 50 out of the number and you miss single pins, it's not good news. And that's going to be a big key for Erin McCarthy as she goes throughout the day, because she's going to strike a lot, but she has to make her spares. So wrapping up the first game.
Right now she's just up to the left of screen. We may need to tweak that camera a little bit to see the players that are there on the left side of that approach, but she strikes again. So it looks like McCarthy is going to defeat Holzenberg and collect the bonus pins.
Tight match between Stephanie Nation and Kayla Bandy.
Yeah, we'll check that one out as soon as...
Tennille up by 19 here. Virtually has locked it up. Just needs a mark in the 10th. Nope, look at this.
Oh.
It goes down.
A little bit of justice for the 9-pin that didn't go the shot before.
It all evens out eventually. And that's a win for Tennille. And so here's the situation in this one. Kayla Bandy working on a strike, trailing by 8. She can take a 2-pin lead with a strike here. Got it. 2-pin lead for Kayla Bandy over Stephanie Nation, heading into the 10th frame. And Kayla can strike out. Let's take a look at the scoreboard for 216. Stephanie can only shoot 204, so Bandy a chance to shut her out here in the 10th. Be a big win for Bandy, and this is a key matchup between the number 8 and number 9 players coming into the day. And they were separated by 100 pins. And so Kayla Bandy will make up a lot of that ground this game if she can win it. That'd be plus 30 in addition to whatever she beats Nation by as far as making up that 100-pin deficit. Hulsenberg is going to lose this game. Aaron McCarthy 222. Hulsenberg only going to be in the 190s. Milligan going to shoot in the 220s. As Tennille strikes on the fill, fills it up in the 10th for 224. Liz Johnson can only shoot 205. Marcia Restrepo shoots 202, including a foul on a spare. She beats Linda Barnes, who's only going to shoot in the 170s this game. Shannon O'Keefe beats Jody Wessner as Kayla Bandy delivers another strike, and she has just about locked it up. 9 spare here on the fill would be enough to win by 1 for the shutout. Japanese player Yuka Shushia, 266 victory to start. I believe, not sure who she was playing down there though, but it's a big win and a big start for Yuka, who is in 10th place coming into the day, and 152 pins out of the cut. So she just made up a lot of ground. Brenda Padilla, 225 and a win. Bandy needs 9 spare here for the shutout. It's the 9. Now she needs the spare. Kelly Kulik, 238. Brittany Hamilton, 214. Game 1 coming to a close. A total of 8 games today. There'll be a break after Game 7 for them to tally the scores and get geared up for the position round match. And that'll be the big one. Look at the scoreboard. Bandy 205. Best Stephanie Nation can strike out for is 204, so Bandy gets the shutout. Stephanie just trying to get as much as she can here in the 10th frame. Get on the plus side of things. Looks like this will be the last match to finish up. Everybody else is done. Stephanie with the double in the 10th. One more for 204, but like I said, not going to have enough to pick up the win.
And so that will conclude, I believe, all of the contests here in round 1.
205, 203 the final there.
Once again, if you're just joining us, you're watching the last day of match play, final round, as we find out which 5 will advance to the TV show here on Bull TV live from Reno. I'm Jason Overstreet, Lucas Wiseman also with us, and I'm going to be stepping away here in a moment so we can let our colleague Dave Lamont jump on. Dave and Chris Barnes are going to be bringing you the action on ESPN2 of the finals. It's an amazing setting, lanes being built right under the Reno Arch. It'll be something that bowling fans have not seen before, a whole new dynamic, and it's going to be a good one. So we'll let Dave step in for the next game. I'll step away, and the action will continue here on Bull TV.
Lucas Wiseman, Dave Lamont here as we watch the second game of the U.S. Women's Open. Sorry, Dave, I thought you were already talking away over there.
Oh, no.
I was
I don't.
having a chat with Hazel McCleary, my compadre from Canada. She was giving me the lowdown on what happened at the BWAA meeting, the Bowling Writers Association of America meeting today.
Were you elected president?
No, although a lot of people have told me they want me to be president, but
There you
I
go.
have politely declined all sort of nominations that may be out there.
Okay. All right. Well, I feel
I got
bad
too much
taking him
else
for
going
Jason
on.
here. He's signing off. It's like he's never going to be seen again. It's like terrible. He's right here, folks. He's fine.
Not going anywhere.
Yeah, I just feel guilty about that. I'll be very upfront with anybody who's hoping to hear Chris today. I would be surprised if he shows up
Really?
to talk. Yeah, he is locked in right now on helping Linda, and
Linda only shot 179 the first game.
yeah, maybe he needs to get over here. But
Do you, do you have you talked to him? Any idea how Linda's feeling today? We know she's had some medical issues.
she seemed to be okay. I mean, I just had a minute or two with them before they went out to pray, before she got going, and she seems fine. I think all of the conversation down there was above my bowling knowledge, and talking about the proper ball and the rest of it. I think Mark Baker is here as Chris's coach, as an author of a bowling book, and so she's got plenty of support. So I don't think Chris will be with us today. He'd better show up tomorrow when we tape for ESPN2. That I'm counting on.
Yeah, I have a feeling he'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm
Otherwise,
not so
I'll
sure.
step in and take the big paycheck.
I'd love it. That'd be great. About time we got you on the big screen. I'm not so sure that Linda's going to make it.
Yeah.
She's going to have, you mentioned her low score. That's going to cost her from the fourth position. She may have slipped a spot. Tennille Milligan had a good game. She was in sixth, and there may be some shifting already.
So our featured matches, Jody Westner versus Rocia Restrepo, Rachel Perez against Stephanie Nation, and Liz Johnson versus Yuka Shishia here in this second game of the final block. Dave, did you make it over to the set over there on Virginia Street today to check it out?
Not today.
No?
I think by the time we finish here, I'm going to run out and take a look at it about 24 hours before we actually do it, and see what it looks like, and see what the weather feels like. And it seems like it's a warmer day outside today than it was yesterday. It was a cool evening coming out of here, but I'm dying to see how close we are. I remember last year in Dallas, man, we cut it close, and those folks were up. I think it was like watching Deadliest Catch. They were up about 30 hours trying to get everything squared away.
Well, it's 75 degrees outside right now here in Reno. The high tomorrow is 88.
Yeah.
So may warm up a bit out there.
What everyone's really talking about is the wind.
Yeah.
If you weren't with us yesterday, we talked quite a bit about how windy it was. Weather conditions change from day to day, so we don't know what it's going to be like. But that could be the one thing that could cause the players some problems.
Yeah, it has been whipping around out there pretty good the last few days. Even I think since I got here last whenever it was Thursday, it's been whipping pretty good every day. And we're in the valley here. The wind comes whipping down the mountains and can get going pretty quick. The forecast for tomorrow says calm wind becoming west between 5 and 10 miles per hour. Wednesday night, west wind between 5 and 15 with gusts as high as 25.
Well, now.
That sounds a little more ominous.
All right. No rain.
No, definitely not. In fact, the humidity is 10% right
Excellent.
now.
I love it. I love it, because as soon as I step off the plane Thursday back home in South Florida, I'll get punched in the gut with massive humidity. So, just looking for somebody off to a fast start. I see a double for Tennille Milligan, and there are two games way off to our left, and we can even tell who they are, never mind what the scores are.
Just sitting here, and I don't know if you had the same feeling, Dave. It feels like there's a lot of tension in the room, doesn't there?
Yes, I agree. I noticed it before. I've become friendly with a lot of these women over the last 3 or 4 years, come down to say hello, and some of them are very welcoming, and others kind of look at you like, I'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
Not right now. Like a Shannon O'Keefe, she's loose, very relaxed. Missy Parkin was as well, but others very businesslike, and that just may be their personalities. There wasn't any way I was going to get near Tennille Milligan today 2 minutes before she bowled.
No, she looked like she was on a mission.
No way. Not after the way she finished. And I bumped into her in the lobby last night, and she had still not recovered from that 171 finish. And, I've been around a lot of competitive people, and I am one myself, so I understand if they're, not happy, you just let it go.
Liz trying to get something going here. 195 the first game, spare 3-bagger so far now this game.
Didn't really have it in her last match, though. Again,
Yep.
she was
9-pin.
probably lucky to get that 9-pin in that case.
Well, today's the moving day for some of the players at the bottom of the standings. If they want to make the show, they got to make some big moves. Rosia Restrepo, she's going to have a hard time making it. She shot 202 the first game, but that's not enough when you're 350 pins outside of the number coming into the day.
No, and she's got a washout on 39 and already has gone with an open frame in the second, so she's in a bit of trouble against a veteran in Jody Wessner who understands these days. Been through a few.
Nation. Spare, strike, spare to start for Nation.
Now, Shannon O'Keefe and Linda Barnes, a good match, and both of them off to good starts. Linda 9 spare for the first 3, then struck in the 4th. Shannon a couple of strikes and 9 spare and strike in the 4th, so she has the early advantage.
Look at the scoreboard between Liz and Yuka. 10-pin lead for Liz.
And also another interesting, a nice college match. Brittany Hamilton and Erin McCarthy, a couple of bowlers who starred in the college ranks.
Yeah, they're both graduated this past year, so just out of college. Jody Wessner, Rosia Restrepo. Jody up by 17. Make it 27 with a spare. Rosia with a couple of open frames here this game on the left lane.
Wessner got a really bad break with a solid 8-pin. Would certainly appear to be a perfect shot.
See quite a few of those.
I'm pretty sure I saw the biggest celebrity in the room before we started today. Pretty sure I saw Barrett Hulsenberg, Leanne's son, who became famous on ESPN last year after Leanne won the U.S. Open.
Yeah, there's some great pictures of them after she won. She's holding him, and he stole the show at the end. That's for sure.
No question. No question. Pretty sure I saw him here.
Wouldn't surprise me.
He's young and he's not missing anything. There's no school.
Only lives 2 hours away. I'm laughing at Jason getting stuck in the middle of the camera. That was funny. Sorry.
Inside TV humor.
Yeah, inside Bowl TV humor. Rachel Perez down by 18 against Stephanie Nation. Can see Shannon O'Keefe down there having a good time with Linda Barnes. Looks like they're having fun in their match. I don't know what happened to trigger it, but Shannon O'Keefe walked over and gave Linda Barnes a kiss on the cheek after she struck. I don't know what's going on.
Well, I'm not sure. Was that like a Godfather thing?
I don't know.
Remember when Michael gave the kiss of death to Fredo?
Yeah, I don't know what was going on with that, but it looks like they're having a little comedy hour down there or something.
Well, they're pretty good friends.
Yeah.
Team USA and living in the Dallas area. Linda Barnes has recovered from that poor 171. She's put together 3 in a row. Well, I mentioned, Shannon was one of the bowlers I felt like I could approach a couple of minutes before they started. If she's nervous, she hides it really well.
Yeah. Steph with 3 in a row. She's trying to get it going. Only shot 203 and a loss in the first game.
How about some updated standings now after not ready?
Don't have them yet.
Oh, they
Still
haven't.
working on them.
Oh, they're still working on them.
Yep.
Wow.
As soon as I get them,
Wow, whoever did them last night was much faster.
I think they may be having some technical issues. It's the same person, but they're trying to work out some issues up there.
Right.
So let's hope that gets sorted out pretty quick.
Well, here, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Kelly Kulik's in first.
That's usually a good guess.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And I would guess that the person who made the biggest move the first game would be the Japanese player. Yuka shot 266 in a win.
Wow.
So,
And she
plus
wasn't-
96 in one game.
And I would bet you that Tennille Milligan may have slid into the top 5.
It's possible, yeah.
Yeah,
Although Lynn is making a charge here this game.
right. 4 in a row for her. Here we go. And whenever you see a pink shirt approaching, John Lucido of the tournament committee, and they've gone old-fashioned here, and they're actually using, I think they're called printers.
Yes, I got a printed version, no more electronic version.
That's okay.
Kelly Kulik still in the lead, surprisingly. Right now, Tennille is in 5th place, and Linda is in 6th.
One
pin ahead.
pin behind her. And look at Erin McCarthy
Yep.
in 7th, only 7 out of 5th. Stephanie Nation only 57 out. And, yeah, you're right. Yuka is now just 64 out.
Yeah, she made a big move. And so and then Kayla Bandy, 125 out of the show. Jody Westner, 176. Brittany Hamilton, 227. Starts getting harder for these players. Rachel Perez, 234. Liz Johnson, 235 pins out of the show. Rosia Restrepo, 312. And Leanne, 320. 320 is not impossible, but she's going to have to bowl lights out to get there. So not so sure that it'll happen.
Just to quickly review the top 5, you mentioned Kelly, of course, first. Missy Parkin is 2nd. Shannon O'Keefe is 3rd. Brenda Padilla, number 4. And then Tennille Milligan, now number 5. But again, only a 1-pin margin between her and Linda Barnes, and 7 between her and Erin McCarthy. The problem is Erin McCarthy's trailing Brittany Hamilton by a considerable amount right now, 128.96 through 6. And Erin McCarthy has either been spot on or way off, and it seems like it varies from pair to pair. Shannon O'Keefe clean through 8, putting together a good game, but Linda Barnes, after 3 spares in a row, is at 4 strikes in a row. And make it 5. And Tennille Milligan is behind in her match to Missy Parkin. Missy was the only one of the top 5 not to have won a match in the opening game. We'll have 6 more after this, with the 8th game being the position round. And that match now with Milligan and Parkin virtually deadlocked. As a matter of fact, if Tennille Milligan can handle a 1-pin spare, which I believe looks like a 10-pin, they will be deadlocked through 7.
Liz Johnson with a 6-10 lead in the 9th. She still leads by 11 on Yuka. As for this one, Perez working on a double. Chance to cut it to a 15-pin deficit with a strike against Nation, and she does.
And Liz, no trouble on that 6-10. Shannon O'Keefe trying to make some inroads against Linda Barnes, and Shannon with a solid strike in the foundation. She has bowled well, but Linda has put together 6 straight to take charge of that match. So, but Shannon in a pretty good spot in 3rd, and even if she doesn't get the bonus 30, she's going to have a nice score and will certainly benefit herself in that regard.
Rachel Perez a chance to cut it to single digits against Nation.
And I did say Padilla because that's how it's pronounced.
That is
I know
correct.
somebody, I'm with you. I'm a South Floridian. We have a large Latin population, and I'm used to seeing 2 L's and making it an E sound, but it's Padilla. So.
Yeah, it's definitely Padilla. That's how they pronounce it.
Yeah, so just But thanks for paying attention. I do appreciate it. You are welcome to correct any mistakes I make.
Yes, that's right. If we say somebody's name wrong and you
Yep.
know how to say it for sure, then let us know. Otherwise, we go with what the players tell us if we know them. And we know Brenda pretty well, so.
Lucas has worked very feverishly on getting the standings on his Facebook page and has done so.
Just now.
Yep.
Except this time I have to take a picture of it with my iPhone and then post it on my Facebook page. It's kind of hard to read, but I think it's good enough. Facebook.com/LucasUSBC is where you can find that image. Facebook.com/LucasUSBC.
Well, Shannon O'Keefe has done everything she can to put some pressure on Linda Barnes. A terrific match. Shannon could, strike out for 238
That's
and
correct.
not win.
Yeah. Linda can shoot 268.
But again, Shannon, it doesn't hurt her that much. She's a pretty solid third right now. She made the U.S. Open show last year, too. Bowled in the first match, didn't win. In fact, I believe, was that not our first match, Linda and Shannon, last year?
Oh, gosh.
I know, I'm trying to remember it. I remember Linda got a couple of wins in and
It's all a blur to me
came
now.
down to that one ball against Leanne and didn't get the count she needed. And Shannon O'Keefe is going to finish with a 237.
Here's Yuka trying to strike out in the 10th, put the pressure on Liz.
Yep.
And she shoots 207. Liz will need, looks like a mark in the 10th to win. Stephanie Nation, she is trying to fight off a comeback attempt by Rachel Perez, and it looks like Rachel might have a shot here. Well, Stephanie needs to get, let's see here, 2 pins for the shutout.
Well, right side by side, off to our left, we have 2 tremendous matches. Linda Barnes' strike streak is over. She left at least the 7 pin. I can't tell if the 10. No, it's just the 7. But Linda's got that match. But next door, the Tennille Milligan-Missy Parkin match, pretty much deadlocked. Parkin 165 through 8 on a strike. Milligan on a strike in the 8th.
Liz Johnson gets the mark in the 10th that she needed, so that's a win for Liz against Yuka. And Stephanie got 2 on the spare attempts to shut out Rachel Perez by 1 pin. Rocio Restrepo struggling here, only 110 in the 7th. And but Rose only down by, let's see, 29 pins. She can cut it to 19 with a strike here, heading into the 10th frame. So she still has a chance to win it, potentially. She's got some work to do here. That's not going to get back to the pocket, though. And Rowe quickly becoming one of the players that we can start to scratch off the list of making the top 5, which is unfortunate because little Roro is one of my good friends.
Well, you guys can console each other over a few hands of blackjack tonight.
That's right. She'll have a nice prize check to spend, that's for sure.
You don't pick up the check, whatever you do. Not that you do, but in this instance, definitely don't. Rachel Perez now on 44. 6 straight.
Yep, but it's not going to be enough. She can only shoot 232.
Unbelievable.
But still, it's a good game, but got to
So-
get wins when you're in Rachel's position, which is in 13th place.
So Linda Barnes shoots a 247 to defeat Shannon O'Keefe's 237. So give Linda 277, and with the 30 points awarded for winning. Tennille Milligan, looks like the best she can do is, 215. So a chance for Missy Parkin.
Rocio just can't get the feel here. She's only going to shoot in the 160s with a spare.
Well, what a game for Rachel Perez, and she didn't win it.
Nope.
And she has to go back to that second frame when she had a 6-2 open, and that cost her. Stephanie Nation had a clean game, except the very, very, very end.
Question in the chat about whether or not we are going to have the finals tomorrow on Bowl TV. What do you think, Dave? Can ESPN2 let us broadcast the finals live on Bowl TV?
Let me check. Hold on. I'll call right now. Just a moment. Hello, Bristol, Connecticut. Yeah.
Yeah, the answer's
what's
no.
that? Yeah, it's no. Okay, I thought Lucas. Not even Lucas Wiseman. All right, not even Lucas Wiseman.
There you go. We checked. Sorry, folks.
Jason could get away with it, but not you. No, for obvious reasons. I hope for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Someone asking how my hair is today. I've squashed it under a hat today. It needs a day to rest, and it'll be unveiled in all its glory tomorrow. Hi. So, not a big hair day today.
Got to keep it protected from the wind.
Yeah, that's what it is. Perhaps I've just kept it protected from shampoo so far today, and that's the reason. Well, Liz Johnson, 6 games left. Does she have a chance to sneak in? Maybe in the number 5 position? She picks up a win
and
there.
a win, so she goes plus 58 that game. But I don't know. It's going to be tough. She's 235 pins out. It's not impossible, but she needs to be shooting 250s, not 220s. 220s is kind of the field average, so it's not going to make up much ground.
All right, so we're going to take the plus over 200s and add the 30 for the winners, correct? Let's see, Aaron McCarthy is, well, unless Brittany Hamilton falls over the foul line. Aaron
pretty
McCarthy's
much.
not going to win.
There's a look at Missy Parkin. Down there. She
Wow, has to strike to win this game.
Nope, she's already lost. She can only shoot 205. Tennille
I'm
shot
sorry, you are
214.
correct.
Yeah.
You are correct. Thank you.
Yeah, Missy could have struck out the win.
That's
but
it.
She missed on the first one in the
So
10th.
she's 0 for 2 today.
Yes, and only, well, to 28, 205.
So she's now going to be 77. All right, I'm going to try to do this the old-fashioned way here. First off, how does this pen work?
That's a Japanese pen. It was given to me by one of the
Here we
players.
go.
Got
Oh, that's
yeah,
like
there you
the.
go.
I used
Like
to
an
have
old
this kind
school
of.
pen.
Yeah, I had this kind of pen when I was a kid. All right, so we don't know Kelly's score, but let's be honest, Kelly's irrelevant at this point as far as she's in the show.
You would think so.
Again, if she decides to leave town tonight, she's got business to attend to in New Jersey, but she's going to actually move over to be one of our featured matches, so we'll finally get a chance for you folks on Bowl TV to see her. And some of the scores have sadly gone away. Tennille had a 214.
Yeah, they drop so quick. And then we
Tennille
can't really
won,
see
though.
all the scores down on the other end, so that makes it hard.
But she's going to have 60 bonus points, plus 14. So she's doing okay. $74 more for her. Now, Linda Barnes had a 247, right? So that's gonna be-
247 or 237? I can't remember.
No, it's 247.
247?
She had to have that 247.
Ah, yes.
Because Shannon, I
Shannon
think, is the one
shot
that threw 236 or 237. She killed it. So she didn't really hurt herself at all. So Linda should be back and oops. Wow. Calculator is not cooperating. It's got to be the calculator.
This is what happens
Couldn't
when
possibly
TV guys
be
try to
me.
do math.
I'm good at math with paychecks.
Hey, I bet.
All right, 30 more, plus 47 more. Yeah, Linda has gone past Tennille by 4.
If I could, I would put a big question mark right over Dave Lamont's head.
And I would put a big question mark on what I just said, because if I'm wrong, these are, you talk about unofficial results, this is
This is the epitome of
really
unofficial.
unofficial results.
They should turn them around pretty quick.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to stop because the problem is I don't know
It's
all
hard to
of
keep
the
up.
scores. I don't
Yeah,
know what
that's
Brenda
the problem.
Vanilla shot, and she, so. But this is a cute pen.
Yeah, don't steal it from me. It's nice.
Nah.
It came all the way from Japan.
Well, I've never been there, so. But now I have a reason to go.
I've been to the Tokyo airport about 12 times. I think.
Narita?
Yep. Not the best airport to be stuck at for
Really?
multiple hours, no.
Wow, I'm surprised. Major city like that.
Not a lot of Western food options.
Well, that's okay.
Sometimes.
I like Japanese food. All right, we're going to get a look at Brenda Padilla. Oh, Brenda Padilla shot a 239.
Yes, she did.
And Tennille Milligan doesn't waste any time tossing a strike. So Brenda, I'm going to, I don't know if she won with that 239, but she too did not hurt herself.
Jason 7 foot over there with the leaves swiping across the screen. And yeah, they're talking in the chat about wanting to see some pictures of the build, and if you go to my Facebook page, they're on there as well. I posted one today.
Oh, good. I have not been out there yet. I'm going to
Yeah,
tweet
it
one
looks
out
nice.
later
You know,
tonight.
I'll show you what it looks like.
Oh,
today.
wow, that
They
is
got
developing.
I was standing up on the grandstands that are, facing the lanes to get that, and they put some.
I'm guessing
on
they'll.
the side, some
I'm hoping to put
bleachers
our
on the side.
booth behind. In other words, about where you're standing is where I'm hoping we'll be.
Yeah, that's where the grandstands are.
Is that right?
Yeah, there are
Okay.
grandstands there. So.
I know how my partner, Mr. Barnes, likes to be able to see the pins.
But yeah, Facebook.com/LucasUSBC, and you can find those pictures that I've been posting.
This is
behind
the
the scenes.
third game that is just underway. And we have Kelly Kulik and Erin McCarthy, Brenda Padilla, Stephanie Nation, Liz Johnson, Missy Parkin, Brittany Hamilton, and Leanne Hulsenberg directly in front of us. Pardon me for the occasional throat tickle.
The Reno weather getting you? A little
Old
dust
age.
in your...
It's frankly old age.
Old age.
Still see some of the bowlers who did not make it here still hanging around. Clara Guerrero is here right in front of us.
Yep, the Colombian delegation sitting down here, and no doubt supporting Rocio Restrepo. I see Paola, Sarah, and Clara all here. I bet Jason will get a shot of them for us, so we can see our lovely Colombian friends.
There they are.
He's going to pull that up live right after Kelly's shot. Shot from Kelly. There they are. Clara and Sarah Vargas and Paola Gomez.
I may need some water here before too long.
Dave and Lon struggling over here, folks.
My goodness.
Some bad news from the Oklahoma City Zoo. Bomb the gorilla has died. My girlfriend is very upset about that.
How old? Not the
I don't
girlfriend,
know.
the gorilla.
I don't know.
That's her business how old she is. She appears to be young.
Relatively.
Oh, boy. Wow. Well,
Hope she's not watching.
I hope she does. We need the ratings.
Stephanie starts with a double against Brenda.
Actually, Clara Guerrero and Stephanie Nation have had a bunch of conversations.
Yeah.
Probably bowling related.
Looks like Clara's ditched her teammate in favor of helping Stephanie.
Yeah.
Because Rocio and Clara are teammates on Team Columbia, but it could be that Rocio's just so far out that.
Or maybe Clara just didn't feel like getting up
Yeah.
after the match and
And
said, I'll just
yeah.
come over and talk to who, I'll have them come to me.
Clara and Stephanie are real good friends
Yeah.
too. Here's McCarthy. Shot 182 last game, so she goes the wrong direction and
But
starts with the
she's-
front three.
But this is her pattern.
Yep.
One, and
like
I
a
know
roller coaster at Six Flags.
It's oftentimes that a player has gets a different read on different lanes. I'm not sure what it is with her, but she's already opened with a triple. She's liable to shoot a 269 and come back with a 189 the next game. It's just that's the way she's been in this tournament. Brittany Hamilton opens and Leanne Hulsenberger both perfect through three.
Updated standings coming
right.
in here. Linda Barnes moves back into fifth. So your top five right now: Kelly Kulik, Shannon O'Keefe, Missy Parkin, Brenda Padilla, Linda Barnes. Tennille Milligan is 32 out of the show. Stephanie Nation 70 off the show. Erin McCarthy 101 back. Yuka Shushia 101. Kayla Bandy 133. I'm sorry, Shushia 133. Kayla Bandy 190. And beyond that, for the bottom six, going to get real difficult for them to make it, but not impossible.
And Kelly Kulik just running away her lead over Shannon O'Keefe, 224. And Lucas will work his iPhone magic,
That's
so
right.
on his Facebook page, we'll have all that for you in a moment.
take the picture here.
Liz Johnson has the front four in her match with Missy Parkin. And I see Shannon O'Keefe in the distance, but it is the distance. Linda Barnes is as far left from us as we could possibly get and still be in Reno. So, and whatever she just left there didn't look pretty.
Hamilton and Holsenberg going toe-to-toe here.
Yeah.
Aaron McCarthy with the front three. Some strikes starting to flow here, aren't they?
And Aaron McCarthy, there she goes. There's 4 in a row. Stephanie Nation with the front three, training to run marathon, the Disney. I think she's doing the 13 and the 26.
Yeah, she's doing a marathon and a half marathon back-to-back days. She's incredibly insane.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree.
For me, a marathon is walking back to the hotel, which is only a block.
I got lost again today.
It doesn't surprise me.
Oh, and Stephanie got a big break. She had a near disaster until the 7th pin was kicked out.
Well, I'll be on standby in case you get lost making it to the show tomorrow night.
I took a different escalator, and I've learned now trial and error which escalators to avoid and which ones to take. Oof, there goes Aaron McCarthy's streak.
String is over for Aaron. Again, we've got, 6 games to go? 3, 4, 5, 6,
This is
7,
number 3.
8? Yeah, so 6 more. This one
5
included, so 5
Yeah.
and a half to go, yeah. 6 to go on our standings, I guess I should say.
And what's always fun, the last round, the position round, the last game, and you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. And hopefully, they'll be wise enough to put, say, that 5-6 game in front of us.
We worked that out already.
Good. Good.
We'll have the 1-2, the 3-4, and the 5-6 match right
all
in front of us.
Excellent.
Supposedly. We'll see.
Don't you know who you are? You're Lucas.
That's
I am,
right.
or however that goes.
Matt Lawson had a funny line. He did a Kelly Kulick feature on Bull TV, and at the end he said, "Who do you think you are? She is." And that was a pretty funny line. A lot of people were commenting on it on YouTube.
That Lawson's the cut-up, man.
He is. There's Kelly. Spare 4-bagger for Kulick.
So if you're upset with yourself that we haven't been able to get Kelly on camera too much, maybe you're with us last night, you've just seen Kelly's last 3 days in one shot.
It has been another exceptional performance for Kelly Kulick here this week.
And Missy Parkin runs into some trouble in the 6th frame of her match with Liz Johnson. Missy's got, what is that, a 210 to have to deal with. And Liz opened with the front 4, 9 spare in the 5th.
My phone is churning away trying to upload that picture. So
You know what, I had a hard time in here yesterday doing the same thing with my street picture. So yeah, it's a little slow in here on that.
should be up there any second, I think.
And Brenda Padilla will have a sleeper to deal with on lane 39.
She's down by 33 against Stephanie Nation this game.
Stephanie Nation has a chance to do something here. You know, she can hurt Brenda Padilla, who's in the top 5, and Stephanie Nation, who's what, 9th?
Yeah, 7th.
7th.
Seventh
Excuse
for Steph,
me. And
yeah.
how far out of the show?
Just 70 pins.
Okay. So Stephanie's going to get a chance to pick off somebody who's in the show and help her own chances. Nice shot there by Padilla.
Aaron McCarthy trying to get a double after that open in the 5th, and she does. So she keeps the pressure on Kelly Kulick. Standings now show up on my Facebook page, facebook.com/LucasUSBC.
And Nation mixes them up. So she has 4 out of 5 with a strike.
Brittany
strikes.
Hamilton just 4-9 on the front 6.
Oh, somebody got a very big round of applause.
Rocio Restrepo made a split of some sort.
Oh, fantastic.
I don't know what it was, but she's having another subpar game. But, hey, at least she had a little something to get the crowd fired up about.
Yeah, she's up against Shannon O'Keefe, who's been clean so far. Again, she's bowled very well.
So I hope everybody's able to see the standings. Just got those posted, so check it out. Kelly Kulik.
Crazy good.
Yep, strike in the 8th.
Somebody asked what ball she's using, and I cannot say. That is a Chris Barnes question, and Chris is being a husband right now with Linda in contention to make the show. It would be sarcastic and disrespectful if I said a black one. So I'm not going to say that. But as far as what kind, I cannot give you any specifics on that.
Yeah, and I don't know either. There's too many bowling balls out there these days.
Oh, my gosh, yeah. Missy Parkin opens in her match with Liz Johnson.
This has been a game of a lot of strikes.
2
so
frames
far.
without one.
Yep, through 8 frames. Both players have 7 strikes. The only difference, Kelly Kulik has them consecutively. Aaron went 4-bagger, open 3-bagger. Holsenberg right back in it here against Brittany Hamilton. She can take the lead with a strike. And she does.
And Brenda Padilla comes with a double in her match against Stephanie Nation, so that's turning into a very nice match. And Erin McCarthy. Well, you talked about the reaction she gets. It's unbelievable. She doesn't even always have to hit it flush, and she just mixes them up.
She's cruising along this game. Unfortunately, Kelly's cruising a little faster. Steph.
Kelly's on the Autobahn, let's face it. If we're going to
right.
continue with that analogy, she's at speeds at the moment, which makes it the fact that she didn't do well at the Queens all the more surprising.
Steph now up 43. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, that was the qualifying was at Euless, the house that she shredded the year before at the U.S. Open. And Kelly got to the championship match and then was beaten by Leanne Olsenberg, if I remember that correctly. Stephanie Nation looking to make it 4 straight, and a stubborn 7-pin will not cooperate. It looks like Linda Barnes and Jody Wessner is the match way off to our left.
Kelly can max out at 290 this game. Aaron McCarthy can shoot 266.
Nation picked up her spare, so she's having a terrific game. Not 290 terrific, but
yeah. Yep, that one gets away from Kelly and goes through the face. Leaves the 3-6. So now her max is 268. So she needs a spare here and 9 on the fill for the shutout, which is hard to believe considering she had all those strikes in a row.
speaking of that, Tennille Milligan has put 4 in a row up in her match. I'm sorry, no, excuse me, that's Yuka who's 4 in a row with her match against Tennille Milligan. So Yuka's taken charge of that match. And Padilla very calmly, she needed that strike to stay alive against Stephanie Nation, and did. Kind of figured Kelly would get that. Now, what's Erin McCarthy's max here? 236?
266.
266, pardon me. That's a little bit of a difference.
Yeah, she can add 150 to that 116.
However,
266, but Kelly can get the shutout here.
How about that?
Yeah.
You could shoot it potentially at 266. And unless Kelly has a disastrous ball, and she hasn't even come close, except for that last one, I guess, could have been troublesome. My goodness.
Brenda with 4 in a row now. She's trying to stage a comeback against Stephanie Nation. Down 22. That's way right.
Well, she
She's got
over-adjusted
6.
that
Yeah.
time, didn't she?
And now Erin McCarthy has a chance to win it.
Erin McCarthy has, in this game, 8 strikes. The only thing that plagued her was an open frame in the 5th off of a split. And she is more than capable. We'll get a good look at her mental game right now. Because she rolls a good number and picks up 30, she thrusts herself back into contention. Kelly is on the show, let's face it.
Yeah, Erin's got a legit shot here to make
Yes,
the
she
show.
does.
She's really got a good look. If she punches out here, shoots 266, and gets the 30 pins, she may jump up in the standings. Gets the first one. Wow, ice water in her veins. She's only 100 pins out of the show. 101.
101, and we don't know what Linda Barnes is up to, who's currently the 5th seed. I don't see a lot of X's down there. I just don't know which one she is, the top scorer or the bottom scorer. I think she's the bottom scorer.
Yeah, I think so.
That match is too close to call against Jody Wessner.
Yep.
Good matchup of 2 outstanding players with great records.
Stephanie can max out here at 256 this game. Brenda can only strike out for 234, so that was the winner right there for Stephanie. Here is second shot in the 10th for Erin McCarthy. Must strike situation to win the game against Kulik. It's more important for Erin than it is for Kelly. Oh, wow. Clutch. Flashbacks to the ITCs right there.
That was the day before the finals.
Now she needs 9 on the fill for the win. Olsenberg is shooting a 210 there, and open in the 10th frame for Leanne as she shoots 234, and Brittany Hamilton will need a mark and count in the 10th to win.
Stephanie Nation has taken out the whip and is trying to come from behind. Here's Erin McCarthy. 9 or better, and she posts a big win.
8, we'd have a tie.
15 points each.
Looks good. Wow.
That's unbelievably impressive.
And she gets the acknowledgement from the crowd, too. A nice round of applause for the 266-264 win over Kelly Kulik. If you're going to beat Kelly, you got to shoot 260, and Erin McCarthy did it.
And Kelly still gets plus 64.
She does. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
But that puts Erin right in the mix for
Absolutely.
that top 5. She's right there right now with 5 games to go.
She just added 96 to her total, and her scorecard reads 4 strikes, 8-1 on the 5th, and strikes solid through after that.
Yep. What a finish.
Speaking of what a finish, Liz Johnson. Is there going to be a potential 268 for Liz? So Missy Parkin struggling today.
Yeah, Missy's kind of coming backwards these last couple of games. Missy has not won a match today. She's 0-3 and has dropped to 3rd place. And she's going to have to get it together the back half of the back 5 games here if she wants to make the show.
Well, Liz Johnson throws up a 268.
And that'll help Liz a little bit. She's
Yep.
253 out of the show before that game, so she's going to need some more of those to get in there.
Shannon O'Keefe finishes with a 223. She'll win her match against Restrepo, who's fouled twice today.
Yes, she has been struggling for sure. And Rowe only going to shoot in the 150s this game, so she's out.
But for Brenda Padilla, although she loses, she didn't really hurt herself as far as the points go. She'll probably shoot 223.
It's her first loss of the day.
Yeah, she's been extremely solid since yesterday.
And everybody who was 2-0 coming into this round lost. So nobody undefeated in match play today. That means nobody's going to make it through match play undefeated today. So we didn't have anybody go undefeated yesterday. Kelly and Missy and O'Keefe were all 6-2 yesterday.
Tennille Milligan has lost to Fuchsia.
Yep, 248 to 224. That's what it looks like.
So Tennille, although she'll pick up 24, she needs the 30. She had been in the show till the last game, and she was passed by Linda Barnes. And Linda, based on the applause, if that's who if I read that right, is that 188, 163 in her match? And Linda's the bottom bowler of the two? On score?
158 for Linda.
158, okay.
Linda
so
can max out at 188, and Jody Wester can shoot 213.
Okay, so Linda Barnes in trouble holding on to that number 5 spot.
And I believe that that Aaron McCarthy may have jumped Tennille Milligan. It's going to be real close.
There you go,
It's
168, 163. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
That's
it was
very
nice to read
helpful,
that.
Jason. And again, the standings, Lucas will take a photo of them as soon as we get them. As soon as we get them, and they're being printed today, that part of the scoreboard not working. But, yeah, Aaron McCarthy picks up 96 there. Liz Johnson picks up 98. And again, we're counting the plus 30. So if Liz is going to do anything, she's going to have to continue to average about 250 and win every match to have even a chance to sneak into the number 5 spot. And the stepladder format. And this broadcast, by the way, will be on ESPN2, 8 o'clock Eastern on July 3rd. And somebody asked, why is it tape and not live like it was last year? I actually don't know. There's another line in The Godfather, there are things going on behind the scenes that'll answer all your questions. And that stuff I don't deal with. What's this? That's Pete Treadwell's music. My goodness. I have to sit up straight. My boss is here. No, I don't hear you because I have the mic. See, I could really mess with you. There you go.
So you're in charge of this operation?
How
is that
about
right?
that? Huh?
So you get to be the producer and the talent?
Well, then I'm expecting double in my pay that I normally get for appearing here on Bull TV.
I tell you what, we can guarantee you double for your Bowl TV pay.
Count on it. I look forward to it. So what brings you in here? Lucas had to go to the bathroom or something?
Who wouldn't want to be here for the U.S. Women's Open final?
That's a good. A lot of people here were last night in particular when you had the reception downstairs.
Yes, free food will bring a lot of people in.
Well, it did, but it also brought them up the escalators and into here, and we had some great atmosphere in here last night. But Lucas brought it up, and I know you're a top-flight bowler yourself. The atmosphere today, very serious. And, even though a lot of these bowlers are friendly with each other, it's different than last night. Last night felt more like a party. Today it feels like
This is business.
Yeah, it does.
This is business. Yeah, I mean, listen, the ladies, they only have a couple of opportunities a year to win, a significant title, and this is one of them, and they take it very seriously. I mean, it's not only is it money, but it's the prestige. I mean, some of these people building Hall of Fame, resumes for the future, and they want to make sure that they put their best foot forward. I mean, you're certainly expecting a lot of media coverage from the show outdoors tomorrow night under the arch, and they want to be a part of it, and they should be, and there's a lot of people there are a lot of women who are really pumped up to be here, and obviously the stars have come out. I mean, a lot of the big names are here, and we have a few fresh faces, Caleb Bandy and Rocio, who's had a good week this week, and she bowls for the Dominican Republic. I'm sure that you guys have talked about that. Brenda Padilla coming back. Well, she made the Queen's TV show 3 years ago in Reno.
Okay.
And she just had a baby a few months ago.
That would be the reason for the stroller off to our left there?
Yes, that is exactly right. She just had a baby. And she's married to USBC coaching specialist Stephen Padilla, fine bowler himself, who's also assistant coach for Junior Team USA. But I mean, you got between Leanne Hulsenberg, who won, of course, last year and won nearly 30 PBA or 30 women's tour titles. Tennille Milligan's won 2 majors, and Kelly's obviously her resume goes without saying. Brittany Hamilton, collegiate star, junior gold champion, made a run at the Queens this year. I'm sure you talked about that. Aaron McCarthy was the MVP of the collegiate tournament. So I mean, it's good to see the mix of the the stars, the Linda Barnes, the Shannon O'Keefe that you always see up top, but with the new faces like Aaron McCarthy and Kayla Bandy and Rosia Restrepo. I mean, it's a good group of 16, that's for sure.
Somebody was asking about Rosia. It's just not been her day. Although she is on our feature pair and has done very well. You take a look at Tennille Milligan against Kelly Kulik, which that's a terrific match. I would take that as a televised match right now if we could sign up for it. Right. Tennille has had a little bit of a tough time today in winning. She hasn't been able to gather those critical points, the plus 30. She's bowled well. If we were just doing it by average, she'd be in pretty solid shape. And Kelly Kulik, I don't know if you've been noticing, Pete. She's done okay today.
Yeah, she's well. She did
lose at 264, so clearly she's having some trouble.
She's on her way to bowling for. I don't know what the exact wording is because she was runner-up last year and then won it 2 years ago. So she'll be, she looking at being in the championship match of this tournament now for the third consecutive year. She was the number 2 seed 2 years ago at the training center in Arlington. Beat Caroline in the first match, then beat Caroline and then beat Liz in the championship. And last year, of course, she was the top seed at Cowboy Stadium and lost to Leanne Hulsenberg.
That's Pete Treadwell, who's the media director at the United States Bowling Congress, among other many duties, sometimes a tournament director of one of your favorite jobs.
Jack of all trades.
Does it all. And
master of none. Speaking of which, we want to talk about tournaments, actually. There was a PBA made an announcement. We kind of did a joint announcement to some extent today on the PBA schedule for next year. You can check out their plans for next year at pba.com, and we announced the dates of the 2013 USBC Masters, which will be February 18th to the 24th next year at Brunswick Zone Carolier in North Brunswick, New Jersey, near the Newark area, not too far from New York City. They hosted the U.S. Open the last few years. U.S. Open will be going elsewhere next year. And they've done very well. They've drawn over 400 entries the last few years at Carolier, hosted many tournaments there. And so the Masters will be going east for the first time since 1999 when it was in Syracuse. So we're excited. We're actually going to be going to Carolier the next 2 years. But just today the announcement was February 18th to the 24th are the exact dates on the PBA Tour. And the other two announcements that we made today are that the qualifying for the Masters will be expanded. Previously, for many years, it was 10 games of qualifying, and then we would cut to the cashers, to the top quarter of the field, and the top quarter of the field would bowl 5 additional games before we cut to the 64-person bracket. We announced today that we are going to have all entrants bowl 15 games of qualifying.
You like that idea?
And then cut right to the bracket. So basically, it allows everyone to bowl the 15 games instead of just the cashers. So somebody has a really bad block. It's easier to rally from it and still make match play. So that's something that we've been talking about, and we're putting it into place for the Masters next year. Everybody gets to bowl 15 games, more in line with what a major should be. And the other announcement is that we are going to have a 2-hour TV show next year, meaning it's a 5-person stepladder for the Masters next year. It's been 4 in recent years, but it's going to be 5 next year. So we have the expanded qualifying and the expanded stepladder finals, and we've announced the dates, February 17th to the 24th for the Masters next year at Carolier in New Jersey. So we're really excited about that.
Cool. Well, I like the fact that y'all have been tweaking formats. You tweaked the Queens this year, made it a little bit different to get the last bodies on the show. And so glad that you're still evolving the sport and finding new ways.
You can't just sit there and say, well, what we've always done is the way to do it. And we've got to look at different ways to do things. And it's funny, we even looked at different ways to do the bracket. Should we be rewarding qualifying, with buys or something? And it just didn't make any sense. We wanted to stick with the traditional format as far as the double elimination, where everybody starts on an even playing field. But we're constantly looking at that stuff and seeing what makes sense. We surveyed both Queens and Masters bowlers this year. Not only past participants, but high average bowlers. Probably people in the listening here who actually received that survey. We want to respond to the bowlers. And if they're not going to bowl, there's no tournament if the bowlers don't bowl. So we want to listen to what they said. I mean, for example, we asked on the Masters survey this month about going to 15 games, and one of the theories that I had was that, well, some of the fringe players that may not feel they can compete with a higher level player, the fewer games you have, the better chance you have of competing. Because if you had 100 games of qualifying, the fringe player is not going to beat the pro.
Right.
But if you lessen the qualifying, that the fringe player would say, hey, I got a chance. But the reality is that was not the case. And that the survey was overwhelmingly that people wanted 15 games of qualifying. So we made the switch, and we're excited to be doing that for this year in New Jersey.
Lucas Wiseman has got something in his hand that appears to be standings. That's the old one. So we're still waiting on the new standings, and a lot of you are asking. We're into the 4th game of our 8-game block here on Bowl TV for the U.S. Women's Open in Reno, Nevada at the National Bowling Stadium. I'm Dave Lamont from ESPN. I'll be calling the championship match with Chris Barnes. We're taping tomorrow night outside under the Virginia Street Arch. Progress, Lucas has a picture on his page on Facebook. And progress going along very, very well. Pete Treadwell, the director of media for the USBC, is, I don't want to say a guest because this is kind of like your equipment, but Pete's here.
Pete pops in every once in a while.
Pete pops in every once in a while, and it's certainly appreciated.
Got to give Lucas a break. He works really hard, and he does a lot of these live streams morning to night. And, I think most people out there recognize that. So on some of these events where we have multiple staff members on site, it's nice to be able to give them a meal break or a bathroom break or whatever that is.
Well, just to run down what we have in front of us, looking at Tennille Milligan and Kelly Kulick, a match too close to call through 4 frames. Rocio has now struck on the first 5, but without I'm pretty sure she's going to be either 15th or 16th when the new standings are released out of 16. Kayla Bandy has hit the front 3, but then went 7 spare in the 4th. Milligan has doubled in her match against Kelly Kulick. That's going to be a high-quality match as you have 4 strikes out of 5 for Tennille with a 9 spare right sandwiched in the middle, and Kelly with a strike, 9 spare, and a double in 3 and 4. Brittany Hamilton and Liz Johnson. You've got the veteran in Liz, a multi-titleist, and Brittany Hamilton, who've talked about her great success in college, and she is going through the face and is fortunate to get out of there with just the 6-10.
We have an updated standings list. We can read up. We have Kelly in for what game? This is we had 24 and then 8 is 30. This is game 36, so this would be plus 1,488.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah.
Terrible.
And then Shannon O'Keefe in second. She is 235 behind Kelly. And then Missy Parkin in third. She's 0-3 so far in this round. She is 93 behind Shannon O'Keefe. Brenda Padilla in fourth. She is 70 behind Missy. And then Stephanie Nation in fifth. She is 47 behind Brenda Padilla.
Yeah, it's interesting. Stephanie has bowled. Look at her scores so far today, how they've increased.
Yeah, she's, I tell you what, I'm sure you guys have talked about all that she has had on her plate this week. It's really been, between her duties with Bowl Expo and then her duties in coordinating this event, I actually went to register for Bowl Expo this morning, and it was about 8:30 in the morning, and working the desk was Stephanie wearing her Bowl Expo sweater. And I said, did you have enough on your plate? And then here she is, she's moving up, and I don't know if that's the first time she's cracked the top 5.
It is, today it is, yes, and really she wasn't anywhere that close to it last night either. She had a nice run, I think, one on the second day here, but then dropped back a little bit. Sixth place is Erin McCarthy, who's 266 plus the 30 in defeating Kelly Kulick.
She's only 21 off the show. Tennille Milligan, 7th, is 24 off the show. Linda Barnes has had a tough day so far. She's now 38 off the show in 8th place. And I don't have the pronunciation on this.
Oh, Yuka.
She is 71 off the show, and then it kind of drops off after that.
Yeah.
But so you certainly have 4 players that are less than 75, away from the show. With 4 games left in bonus pins, that's nothing.
Yeah, I agree. I think you can probably start eliminating 10 down, but you never know. Kayla Bandy is bowling well in this game, although Restrepo, who's well down the list, who's actually in 16th, well off, is hit the front 5.
We've got a few questions on the Masters here. I'll try and get to some of these.
Yes, those are definitely to be directed to Pete.
Yeah.
Meantime, while you're looking through it, this Milligan-Kulik match is just fabulous, as Tennille has thrown down 4 straight, but Kelly has 4 straight.
We have, let's see, this question, getting 500 entries to the Cashers round is important. Unfortunately, hasn't been the case the last few years. We got about 300 in Las Vegas, and I think that going back east is going to be a real draw. We're in the same time slot as the U.S. Open has been, in the same building as the U.S. Open has been, with a similar open field type event.
Okay.
And so we're optimistic that we're going to get 400 or more this year, or in 2013. So we'll see about that. Masters needs to allow the undefeated leader a second game if he loses the title match. Unfortunately, ESPN doesn't see it that way.
No, and I can understand that.
Yeah, you can't just allow for an extra.
Right.
And that's the downside of having live TV. Certainly, live TV is appealing. ESPN prefers live TV. The PBA prefers live TV. And that's the unfortunate part of that. But
the fortunate part, says the TV person, is that you're getting the product nationally, and you're getting an opportunity for these players to shine. So I can understand that.
Having a Cashers round in the Masters where you are bowling just 5 games to eliminate just a few bowlers didn't make sense, right? And I think in this case, if you're assuming we have 400 bowlers at Carolier, and we'll be talking about taking 100, we would be talking about taking 100. So the Cashers round could make sense, but I think it was. The survey said that all bowlers wanted to have the 15 games. So even if it's an open field event and anybody can enter, and you're guaranteed 15 games, no matter what you bowl. So that was something that people said in the survey, and we listened. So that's what we're doing. And we felt that 15 games of qualifying was more in line with a major championship. So this is kind of a fluky thing. Can Canadians bowl in the U.S. Open? Yes. U.S. Open is a truly open event that anybody can bowl, as is the Masters. Has a 16. The U.S. Open will be at Woodland Bowl in July 2013. Actually, that's not accurate. They haven't decided where the U.S. Open will be. In fact,
which U.S. Open now?
The U.S. Open, the PBA announced yesterday that the men's U.S. Open would be in July, but they said they don't have a site yet.
Okay.
So, but they're expecting to announce a site by next month. The date I believe they gave in the press release today was July 21 to 27, I think, for the U.S. Open. Let's see. I think that's all the questions we have. Anybody? If I didn't answer anybody's question about the
There's
Masters.
one about giving Lucas a raise.
Well, I ignored that question.
I thought so.
And of course, I don't have the authority to do that anymore. So
sure you don't.
Jason Overstreet, our lead director for Bowl TV, is now the authority to do that. So you can direct all questions to Jason Overstreet on that in that department.
Nice. Good buck passing. Well done. Pete Treadwell fans. All right, quick look around here. Tennille Milligan's bowling really well, and it may not be enough. She's 178 through 7, really 188 coming off a spare going into the 9th, but Kelly has dropped 6 in a row on her and 7 of 8.
And Kelly she had 264 last game.
And lost.
Yeah.
To Aaron McCarthy.
That's rough.
And you know what? Aaron has left something open. I saw at least one pin standing. Oh, she had a disaster. 5-1.
On a triple.
But that's the way she's been, Pete.
That's a lot of
really
count.
Unusual.
That's a lot of count.
She has either come through in the clutch as she did in beating Kelly when she had to punch out to do so and did, or needed 2 strikes and a 9. And then very next game, she could drop a 189 and then come right back with a 240. Seven straight for Kelly Kulik. And over to our left, Brenda Padilla couldn't get a friendly bounce on that 7-pin or a friendly tap. So, an important match for her against the veteran Jody Wessner. Just to give you a quick update again, Pete gave you the standings, and standings a little slower than yesterday. It's not electronic as it was yesterday. So, Lucas, did you take your photo, Lucas? Okay, so if you want to follow along on social media, USBC Lucas Wiseman, Lucas Wiseman's Facebook page will have it. But just a quick look again. Kelly Kulick, number 1. Number 2, Shannon O'Keefe. Third is Missy Parkin, although she is 0 for 3 in match play and in a tight match right now with Leanne Hulsenberg. Brenda Padilla, and that is the correct pronunciation. And Stephanie Nation, who shot up with the games of 203, 233, and 256. In 6th, Erin McCarthy, who's 21 back of 5th. Tennille Milligan, 24 back of 5th. Linda Barnes, who had a disastrous 178 in game 35, is now 8th after starting 4th today, minus 38. And Yuka Tsuchiya from Tokyo, off of games of 266, 207, and 248, is 71 back. Then Kayla Bandy, Liz Johnson, Jody Wessner, Brittany Hamilton, Rachel Perez, Leanne Hulsenberg, the defending champion, and Rocio Restrepo, who is having her best outing so far today with a very clean game. Only thing that's kept her from being perfect is a 9 spare in the 7th. She has struck everything else through 9. Now there's the Milligan Kulick scoreboard.
Oh, and Kelly just missed a 10-pin.
Wow.
Which, that 247, which means that Tennille needs, let's see, 238. She needs strike. She needs the first 2 to win or strike 9 spare to tie here. So Tennille is going to step up here with a chance to win this match. And, of course, as you mentioned, Tennille is in 7th place, 24 pins off the show. So this could be a huge 10th frame for Tennille.
Well, not only that, Erin McCarthy is struggling in her game against Tsuchiya, who could move up again.
So Tennille could be moving up here.
Could be moving into 6th, maybe 5th, depending on what's happening with Stephanie Nation. Never had a chance.
Boy.
Washed out.
Kelly got away with that one. I mean, she's still obviously in great shape, but uncharacteristic of her to miss that spare. If she had gone spare strike, she would have shut her out, and Kelly would have shut out Tennille, and she missed the spare, of course.
Wow, nice shot there. So she can only do 238. It'll give her plus 38, but she will not win the match and get the bonus points. So Kelly picks up the 47 plus and 30 more.
And she'll still pass. She'll pass Erin McCarthy. Because Erin McCarthy is going to lose, and the best she can shoot is 202. So she definitely has passed Erin McCarthy.
Brenda Padilla, who's in 4th, in her match with Jody Wessner, and now,
still tight match there. 9-pin match going to the 9th frame, or 10th frame rather.
Both of them striking in the foundation. And Liz Johnson's chances of roaring from behind are fading away in this game. Brittany Hamilton converts a spare in the 9th and is 194 through 9, whereas Liz Johnson 165 through 8. And somebody way off to our left has thrown 214 and lost.
It looks like, does that look like Linda Barnes?
Well, I think it's... No, Linda is bowling right now.
Well, let's see, who's on?
And she ends up with 224, so she'll win the match.
Linda just shot 224?
Yeah, she missed. She had an open and went 7-2 there in the 10th. That gives her 224 to 214 over.
Is that Stephanie Nation, maybe?
Yeah, I think it is. Well, that's significant. Stephanie will pick up the 14, but Linda.
Well, let's see, if Tennille, so she gained 24 on, so Tennille, there may be, it looks like there actually would be a tie for 5th.
Wow.
Because she gained 24 pins on Stephanie, so she would be tied for 5th.
And she was 38 out
No.
Linda was 38 behind fifth.
Okay, so, and she gained
10 in pins.
54 over
14.
She's
past her.
She's past
Stephanie.
So Stephanie and Tennille are tied for 6th then, and Linda would have moved into 5th. Linda gained, she shot 24 and then 30 bonus pins is 54. She gained plus 54, and Stephanie was plus 14. So she gained 40 on Stephanie.
All right, Tuchia's going to
So she's up by 2.
Tuchia just shot 213 and 1, so she'll pick up.
She's still not show. So it looks like Linda is in 5th, and Stephanie and Tennille are tied for 6th, 2 pins out of the show.
And Erin McCarthy at the worst possible time to toss up a 178 and lose.
Yeah.
That's going to hurt her 6th place standing. Tennille Milligan at 238 and didn't win. And Liz Johnson, what's her best is 224 here against Brittany Hamilton.
Yeah, that match is still up for grabs. She could actually, if she doubles, that'll be 224 and Brittany on a 224 pace. So she would need a double to win and strike spare to tie if Liz were to throw 3 here.
Rocio Restrepo had a wonderful game here. She could strike out for, 279?
Yep, she just needs the fill ball. She's in the 270s. She's a bit
way off though, but it's been her best game. I mean, considering it's after a 157.
Right, that's a rebound, and a 169 the game before that.
Yeah. Oh, Liz Johnson got stuck with a ringing 10. So 214 will be her score unless she somehow misses. Rocio throws the 279. Double thumbs up to the spectators here. Can we call them spectators, or is
Sure.
this the Masters? We can't. We don't have to call them patrons. All right.
We're less stingy about
Good.
that.
I'm glad to hear that.
Industry.
So I can make bikini wax jokes about how the lanes are oiled, or is that a bad idea?
No, I think it might get banned.
Okay.
Like Gary McCoy.
I cannot do that. No, I cannot afford that. All right, just looking at some of the ladies who are now coming into our view. Linda Barnes will be one of them. And Jody Wessner got a kiss on the 7. But she will not beat Brenda Padilla. So Brenda Padilla did herself a big favor, 234 and a win.
Okay, so Brenda she was in 4th, and she gained 64 pins, and Missy it's already cleared off.
Yeah,
so
and I wasn't.
Shot.
She was out of our camera view there.
Brenda was 70 behind Missy, so probably did not pass her. So we think it's still Kelly Kulick, Shannon O'Keefe, Missy Parkin, Brenda Padilla as the top 4 seeds. And right now, Linda Barnes has snuck back into 5th with 4 games left. Stephanie Nation and Tennille Milligan, 2 pins off the show, tied for 6th. So it is very tight
Nice.
here.
We like it that way.
Very, very tight.
And Brittany Hamilton has a bucket. And if she makes it,
She will win that match.
if she doesn't,
She will lose that match.
very simple. Missy Parkin looks like she'll be in view. Brenda Padilla is going to be around. And Brittany very calmly takes care of business there. So she just needs 5 pins to defeat Liz Johnson. And that'll probably be it for Liz.
Dave, we appreciate you stopping by. Of course, as I'm sure Lucas has talked about, Bowl TV is a production of the United States Bowling Congress, and without member dollars, for all those of you who are in the audience, make sure you certify your leagues to continue these productions. These productions are not free, and your member dollars go towards supporting these productions and bringing you free live webcasting from around the country and around the world in some cases.
And now for the first time, we do have electronic standings. So I just don't know if that's the very latest.
It's not. It says that through 11 games of match
Okay.
play, so that's still not quite finished.
And if you call now, Pete will get you a James Taylor DVD of a special concert at Wolf Trap Farm Park in
And
Vienna,
a set
Virginia.
of Ginsu knives.
And so call now. but we do appreciate, I know, everybody, all the bowling establishments around the country, and all the bowlers. We had them from all over yesterday. We ended up doing a little survey, Pete, about it was about 11 Reno time, 10:30, and we had Louisiana, Canada, California, South Florida. We're Colorado. We had probably more than a dozen states represented, plus our neighbors to the north.
Yeah, I tell you, bowling is truly a nationwide and an international sport. Just this week, the Junior Team USA is in Thailand at the World Youth Championships. Marshall Kent, who won the Team USA trials this year, won the junior gold a couple of years ago. Last year did he win junior gold? Former junior gold champion who won the gold medal at the World Youth Championships in singles, which is an amazing accomplishment considering the talent in the youth bowling across the world. And so Marshall, who will represent the United States for adult Team USA at the World Cup this year in Poland. You can follow the World Youth Championships at bowl.com this week. That's been going on, and of course, just today, USBC announcing a new partnership with the Hong Kong Sports Institute. Again, you can read about that on bowl.com, an exciting new partnership. But to your point, bowling truly is an international sport, and one of the things that the International Olympic Committee looks for in a sport is is it played successfully in many different countries and continents? And one of the downfalls of softball and baseball when it was removed from the Olympics was that it was there wasn't that many countries that were good at it,
right?
And that hurt in both cases. And that's not the only thing they look for, certainly, but that's one of the factors. And so there's hope for bowling, as popular as it is, on every continent. It's amazingly popular. So very encouraging for the future. It's truly becoming an international sport. The World Bowling Tour is in play now, and as which the PBA has partnered with the WTBA to launch that. And so lots of great stuff going on.
He is Pete Treadwell, Managing Director of Media for USBC. Lucas Wiseman is pacing behind us as if he wants to get back on the air.
And I think we're –
And he apparently is. Pete,
yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thanks, Dave, for having me on. And Lucas is back on duty.
I should say that to you,
yeah.
But I appreciate being here, believe me. Just a quick rundown while we transition and bring Lucas back in here. Linda Barnes and Brenda Padilla are to our right. That'll be one of the matches we're going to keep an eye on. And Linda has been hit with 2 Ted pins, a dead one there and a ringer, whereas Padilla is open with a strike. Brittany Hamilton, Missy Parkin. Missy 205 last game. Don't know if she won that, but Missy there starts off, as you would expect Missy Parkin, the Queen's champion from 2011, to do. But directly in front of us, Shannon O'Keefe and Kayla Bandy. And Shannon O'Keefe with a single pin miss in the open. Bandy with a strike and has an opportunity for a single pin miss. Kelly Kulik and a Yuka Tushia. And Kelly opens with a double. Rachel Perez opens with a double. Jody Westner opens with a double against Stephanie Nation. Everything Stephanie Nation does now is huge. We've estimated, Lucas, that she's been kicked out of 5th place.
Wow. I was going to ask you if anybody has any disinfectant for these headphones.
Wow. Here you go.
Was on.
Kelly Kulik, Shannon O'Keefe, Missy Parkin, Brenda Padilla, Linda Barnes back in 5th ahead of Stephanie Nation, and they changed the screen on us. It is now up. Whatever.
Is that updated?
Mode. Yes, that's through 12 games.
Okay.
And the difference is
not much.
2?
2 pins.
Wow.
Yeah. And there's a tie for 6th
with Tennille Milligan.
Yeah. You got a bunch of players within 60 pins of the show right now. With half the block to go, Jason's going to get a look at the in-house scrolling results. These are unofficial, of course.
Asks the lifetime skeptic what makes them official.
They go through and they verify that that the computer system pulled all the numbers back correctly. So you got to check the recap sheets and make sure that the computer actually matched the right people up and gave the right bonus pins to the right person, and just to double verify. Because the last thing you want is for them to determine a mistake after the fact.
Of course.
And somebody didn't make the show that should have. And
we're getting several questions, understandably, about what individual players, or obviously individual players, what the ladies are throwing, and we've been on headsets the whole time and really haven't had a chance to go down there and find out. Someone asked what Linda Barnes is throwing. I don't know, and I'm looking for Chris, and I don't see him. I know he's here, unless he may have had to go to the expo.
it's possible he may have had a dinner or something going
yeah.
on. Who knows? I mean, he's a celebrity.
He is a celebrity.
In
Saw
his
him
own
sign
mind.
one autograph last night. One more than me, as it should be, I might add. Brittany Hamilton, probably fortunate to end up with the 3-6-10 there with that shot. And Padilla, after opening with a strike, has gone 9-spare, 9-spare in 2 straight frames. Linda Barnes looking for her first strike. Linda Barnes with a 2-pin advantage over Stephanie Nation and Tennille Milligan for the final spot on the show. Linda has made the show the last 2 years in the final spot both times and lost in a 1-ball roll-off against Carolyn Doran Ballard 2 years ago indoors at the training center in Arlington on the USBC campus. And last year, Linda had a nice run and was knocked out by Leanne Hulsenberg in a memorable match where she actually injured her forearm partway through the match and gutted through that. But Leanne bowled really well and basically stalked her and caught her and passed her by a couple of pins. So the Barnes match with Padilla even through 3. Even I can figure that one out.
It's an easy one, both of them with 39.
Kelly's opened up with Turkey. So is Missy Parkin.
And just posted the updated.
Erin McCarthy
sheet.
took a hit. She dropped down to 9th.
Head over to facebook.com/LucasUSBC. You can find the updated results after 12 games.
Linda with the double. I may be able to answer at least the question of what Linda's throwing if I can find. There are more ball reps here right now. I don't.
We could ask Jason Couch, see if I can get him.
Yeah. At least we can get that answer for you. Well,
She's throwing a track 706.
There you
according to
go.
Jason Couch.
thank you, Jason. Missy Parkin is throwing strikes, is what she's throwing. 4 straight for the Californian. Have not seen her husband around, Drew, this week. That's surprising.
Yeah, he's watching. I know that.
Yep. And Brenda Padilla comes back. It's a good match and an important match. Padilla 4th and Barnes 5th.
Yes, very important. With only 4 games to go.
Yep.
3.5 now.
Yep.
A lot of people stringing some strikes. Jody Wester front 4, Rachel Perez front 4, Kelly Kulik front 4, Missy Parkin front 4. So.
And Shannon O'Keefe with 3 in a row to more than make up for the mistake she made on the single pin. Brittany Hamilton bombs one in there too from long distance. Sorry, that was a basketball reference there.
Got a nice compliment in the chat. Someone wants to know, how is it possible that you don't do the PBA shows as well? Well, maybe one day. You never know. But
Fingers will always be crossed. That would be an honor. I grew up watching the PBA on Saturdays, the whole tour, April through May, culminating in the Firestone Tournament of Champions in Akron. And Padilla leaves an open 210 in the on lane 45. So if that chance were to ever come along, I would jump at it in a second.
well, let's keep our fingers crossed. You never know. Be nice to have you on there.
I
for
think
sure.
I do, but thank you anyway. No, I may, probably should be getting some college football assignments very shortly.
Yeah, it's coming up pretty quick, isn't
Yep.
it?
And Padilla leaves an open in her 5th frame. Had a tough shot, the 210, as any bowler would know. So we'll see if Linda Barnes can take advantage of that. Yeah, they're already starting to hand out assignments. One thing that, sometimes I think the NFL is this rather soulless monolith, but they do one thing well. They leave that first weekend alone,
Yes.
so college football can take over and play Thursday through Monday, and I'm glad they do that. Then they pick up with their Thursday night games, and that's fine. And Missy Parkin picks up 5 in a row. she's been a little bit off her game so far today, but the Barnes gets a kick on the 10, so she's dropped 3 in a row. But Missy is in good form now.
Drew Parkin just posted on my Facebook page, "Hi, Lucas and Dave. Yes, I'm watching. Hope to be there tomorrow."
Oh, cool.
Thanks for
Well,
doing the
Drew,
show.
we look forward to seeing you. Bring that hoodie. Just wash it first, please.
Yeah.
Well, Missy has emerged last 2 years, just in bowling, period. Men's, women's, elephants, doesn't matter. She has been one of the best bowlers in the world the last couple of years.
Oh, Missy yanked that one
Oh.
right through the face.
My name is not Lucas Wiseman, and I just jinxed her.
Yes, you
Holy
did.
cow. Well, I stand by that statement, and I think everybody in the audience is very aware of how well she's bowled. Taking a look at Stephanie Nation, you mentioned that every time she swings her arm, it's going to matter, and she has doubled in her match against, that looks like Jody Wessner.
Yep. Linda just threw her 4th consecutive strike to take control against Brenda.
For such a nice person, Linda Barnes is, she's really mentally tough.
And physically tough.
Yeah, and people have asked about her health. She seems fine. I haven't spent as much time with the Barneses as I often do on these assignments. They've both been incredibly busy, but as far as I know, she's feeling great. And Brenda Padilla has another 210 to look at. So the match is getting away from her, right in the middle. And she's in 4th. And wait just a second, because Linda right behind her. And the difference, well, Padilla's got some room there. About 80, over 80. So there's some room for error for Brenda Padilla to hang on to the number 4 position.
Shannon O'Keefe just yanked that one right through the noggin on a 5-bagger. There's Chris Barnes. He's here.
Anne-Marie Dugan in the building. Hall of Famer.
That's right.
Oklahoman.
That's correct. She lives in Edmond. Runs the pro shop at Boulevard Bowl.
Which show did she make? Was it the first Queens?
I think the Queen's in El Paso.
Yeah.
Did you do that one?
Yes.
Yeah, I think
Sure
I'm pretty
did.
sure it was that one.
I enjoyed El Paso. And Brittany Hamilton with an open in the 6th in her match with Missy Parkin. So Missy has that one by the throat, it looks to be.
Yeah, Missy is up by 43 pins with 4 frames to go.
And Padilla has had back-to-back 210s, has not been able to convert either one of them, and is trying to scramble here, and comes in with a, pretty sure that's a strike. I didn't think the 7 pin did go down, so.
She's trying to pump herself up a little bit. She just kind of gave a little emotion on that shot. A little self-talking going on over there, I think.
Well, unless Linda Barnes makes a big mistake, she's got command of this match. Kayla Bandy with a nice looking strike, trying to rally against Shannon O'Keefe, and Hamilton split them apart. Beauty. And we should probably keep an eye on Kelly. Front 7.
It's always a good idea to keep an eye on Kelly. You never know what she's going to do. Linda
Ooh.
Barnes just 4-9
Yep.
in the 7th, and she still has a pretty decent lead with 3 frames to go, even if she opens here. Still be up by 30.
Stephanie Nation, was that another strike? Whoa, 4 in a row for her. Missy Parkin, perfect.
Yeah, Stephanie's bowling good, but Jody Wessner's on pace to shoot 270.
Yeah, but Stephanie Nation's in a position.
Ooh, Linda almost made that, by the way. Real close.
Stephanie's in a position only 2 back of Linda Barnes and tied with Tennille Milligan, that she still is going to make up some ground unless Linda Barnes finishes strongly. What's her max now, 245?
For Linda, yes,
Yeah.
245, and
That's
Brenda
if she
can
strikes
strike out
out.
for Brenda can strike out for 216.
So every frame in that group between Barnes, Nation, Milligan, and really Yuka Tsuchiya really matters now, because there's only 2 pins separating 3 bowlers from that final spot. And Brenda Padilla's only 11 back of Missy Parkin, but Missy is ripping it in this game for that number 3 seed. Shannon O'Keefe somewhat comfortably at number 2, and Kelly Kulik has lapped the field for the number 1 spot.
Yeah, Shannon O'Keefe is now, about 180 pins above 5th. And so she just kind of can cruise along and shoot a few 220s here and win a couple of matches. She'll make the show.
Is that all?
Yeah, that's
Couple of
nothing. But she's
220s.
averaging over 220 probably.
She is,
for
but
the
she
tournament,
has,
so.
the last 2 days, she's been outstanding. And here's Kelly going for as Padilla strikes.
I think if we go to camera 1, we'll be able to see her off to the left there. There she is, the front 7. I don't think she liked it very much, but it struck.
She likes it now.
Yes, she does.
By the way, Kelly today, 238, 237, 254, 264, and lost.
Yes.
And a 247, and at the moment, perfect through 8.
O'Keefe, this is the 9th frame. She can still shoot 245 this game. And she shoots 245 here and wins. She'll be getting pretty close with Kelly in that lock zone.
Yeah.
A little bit of work to do, though. But Kelly's definitely locked in at this point. She could step in on a pizza and mess up her bowling shoes and still have no problem making the show.
That'd be terrible, though. I hate to see the pizza go to waste.
I hate to ruin a
That'd
pizza.
be awful.
Pizza. I only say that because I've actually done that before bowling.
Really?
Yep. Somebody dropped their pizza on the ground and I didn't see it. And
Oh,
right
wow.
in it. My bowling shoe. Not good. Front 9 for Kelly, though.
That's good. Well, we've had some close calls. What did she have yesterday, 299?
She did. Yep. She's been real close. A 299 and a 298 yesterday, and Matt Lawson's down there. He ready to get some video of it.
The one bowler we can't see very clearly is Tennille Milligan, and I just saw her in action, and that her match, I just don't know which bowler she is. Unfortunately, that's a long way down.
Tennille Milligan's on the top bowling Aaron McCarthy, and right now it is a 9-pin lead for, an 11-pin lead for Tennille Milligan.
Okay.
21-pin lead because Tennille just doubled. So.
All right. So let's not forget about her, because she is in that battle with Linda Barnes, who has doubled.
Yep. She's going to win this game.
Oh, this is great stuff, man. This is great stuff.
It's so close between the folks who are battling for the show.
Well, let's remember last year's show. Shannon O'Keefe was on it. Linda Barnes was on it. Liz Johnson was on it. Kelly Kulik and Leanne Olsenberg. Right now, Kelly and Shannon certainly appear to be on the show. Linda's in position, but still has to fight a few folks off.
Yeah, Missy, Brenda, Linda, Stephanie, Tennille, Yuka, and Aaron all really battling for the last 3 spots, although Kayla Bandy an outside shot. Liz Johnson, Brittany Hamilton need a miracle.
Linda Barnes starts your 10th frame.
Yeah, she can get to 245 this game. That puts her in the 230s right there.
I think she was happy with that strike. I've seen her look happier.
She looked relieved.
Yeah. Kayla Bandy.
I mean, Kayla still has an outside shot, but she's just running out of games.
She's got to win.
Yeah, she's only going to shoot 224, and she's not going to win the game because O'Keefe just needs to fill 20 in the 10th, and you would assume that that's going to happen based on how Shannon has bowled.
Not only is Yuka Tushia being run over by Kelly Kulik, but she didn't help herself with a 178.
Yeah.
And Missy Parkin got away with one there. Not her best strike, but she'll take it, and she has just made a major statement. Linda Barnes, Messenger comes through on the 10.
Look at that. That'll put her in the 240s. Kelly Kulik stepping up. We, of course, we'll get you the final frame here. It's Kelly with the front 9. Kelly certainly going to be the top seed on the TV show. That has been determined. She has been a very determined young lady here this week. 10-pin. Puts an end to the run. Still a great run. Would have liked a little icing on the cake there, though, you know.
Pizza, cake, what are you doing?
I'm
All
hungry.
right.
It's dinner time.
Missy Parkin, wow.
That puts her in the 270s.
Phew.
Yep, and she is making a charge here.
Linda Barnes strikes out for a 245. What a classy finish.
You know what's happening? Notice what's happening here, Dave? The players at the top are starting to turn it up a notch. 245 for Barnes, 270 for Parkin, 270 for Kulik. Stephanie Nation shooting 260.
Shannon O'Keefe having a very solid game.
Shannon O'Keefe can shoot 240. All of a sudden, there might be some distance that grows.
Not that Caleb Bandy has shot that badly either.
Yeah, and
oh, man,
this is a game that kills Caleb Bandy.
Yeah.
Who is already, 130 out of the number, and she only shoots 220 while everybody else above her shooting 240 plus.
278 for Missy. Shannon O'Keefe.
Yep. She's looking around her. She knows there's a lot of strikes being thrown, and she needs to get as much as she can here.
Well, I think she's going to pull that off. She's picked up her plus 30 already, plus whatever she gets, which could be, 245 potentially.
Yeah, 245. And Missy with the 278 is right there with Shannon now. She was only, 70 pins behind her, and she just made up 33 of it.
And if that's the scoreboard to the far left, that's Milligan McCarthy?
I believe it is. Yeah,
right,
Milligan just struck to win the game.
Yep. And her score is going to be a good one, too. McCarthy ends up with a 201, so her chances...
Milligan can only shoot 213.
Well,
so she'll lose a little bit of ground. Not bad, but
not enough.
240's above her.
Yeah, she just locked down that match.
Yeah, she's going to win the match, but Tennille missed a single pin and had a split for an open this game. And that's can't miss single pins at this stage of the competition. Just no excuse.
Nope, you're right. And I'm sure she knows that as well as anyone.
Yep.
And Brenda Padilla needs pins. And she's going to end up only with a 183. So her hold on fourth got a little shaky.
It did. And in fact,
did Linda Barnes pass her?
It's possible. It was almost 100 pins, 75. It's really close. Yeah, I think Brenda still is going to be hanging on by her fingernails by a couple of pins, but it's going to be real close. What happened is, fifth and sixth just bowled lights out and narrowed what was a 100-pin gap between fourth and fifth. And so that's going to create some, and seventh and eighth, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th all kind of fell back a little bit.
8th and 9th lost,
What we're going to see on the next update is a gap between 6th and 7th
between
develop.
Stephanie Nation and Tennille Milligan.
Yeah, and so there's going to be a little bit of a I don't know how big it will be, but there's going to be a little bit of a hole there.
Well, Suchia hurt herself with a bad game.
Yeah.
You're not going to bowl a 280 and beat Kelly. I get that. But that was a big problem for her. Erin McCarthy has cooled off. She only shot a 201 and lost to Milligan.
Well, what happened that game is you see there was a 100-pin gap here between 4th and 5th. That gap is going to move from between 4th and 5th to between 6th and 7th.
Yep.
Is essentially what's happened here.
And based on the spectator, looks like right in front of us will be Linda Barnes.
And Brenda Padilla, Shannon O'Keefe match. That's going to be an important one.
Missy Parkin, Erin McCarthy.
Yeah, Erin McCarthy is in some trouble as far as making the show goes now with games 6, 7, and 8 left in this block.
Last woman standing in that match is now over with. Rocio Restrepo lost to Rachel Perez, who very solid 235.
Yeah, Rowe with 184. Leanne Holsenberg won her match down there. Linda Barnes going to take on Rachel Perez in this next game. As we gear up for game number 6.
Leanne Holsenberg, Tennille Milligan will also be right in front of us. Two more games, and then we'll break for what normally about 3-4 minutes.
It depends. It could take as long as 5 or 6, 7 minutes, but they need to put the names in the scoreboard as well. And while we have a break, I want to thank our sponsors, the brands of Ebonite International here, the presenting sponsors of the U.S. Women's Open. So thank you very much to the folks at Ebonite, Track, Hammer, Columbia 300 for their sponsorship of this event. Also Jenna King, Lipton, and the Tri-Properties here in Reno, Eldorado Silver Legacy, and Circus Hotel and Casinos. I'm Lucas Wiseman. Dave Lamont of ESPN is joining us as we watch the final 3 games, narrowing down to what hopefully will be an exciting finish to determine the 5 finalists for the TV show. The show will be taped tomorrow night at what time? 7 p.m. I think is our kickoff.
7 Pacific.
7 Pacific is when it's being taped. I'm going to try to. I think I'll probably do some updates on Twitter and Facebook while it's going on to keep the diehards aware of what's happening.
I understand.
But if you are desperate to know the results after the fact, it will be on bowl.com. We'll have a little teaser up so it doesn't spoil it for anybody who doesn't want to know. And the show will air July 3rd, which is a Tuesday night at 8 p.m. prime time on ESPN2.
Yes, sir.
It's always good to have bowling in prime time.
Which on the East Coast is right now.
That's right. Great timing because last night we were here till almost midnight, which was 3 a.m. on the East Coast. It was a late night.
Yeah, it was.
And we're glad that everybody's able to watch and approaching that 1,000 viewer number, which is always nice to see. So go ahead and spread the word on social media, Facebook and Twitter. Let everybody know you're watching the U.S. Women's Open, the best women bowlers in the world competing here at the National Bowling Stadium. Post a link to bowl.com and let everybody know to come tune in for these final 3 games. It is going to be hot and heavy here.
The question somebody asked who won the Padilla-Barnes match, it was Linda Barnes who won, and we're waiting on the standings after 13 games of qualifying. Also on our broadcast, and she's walking right in front of us now, will be Kathy Doran-Lizzie. She'll be our laneside reporter. She made the first cut, didn't make the final 16. Neither did Carolyn Doran-Ballard.
Correct.
A little bit of a surprise. This is her kind of tournament where she can just sort of, I hate to use the word grind, but you know what I mean. She just works her way through the field methodically, but did not quite have it.
I see USBC President Andrew Kane in the house watching the bowling. So our USBC President is supporting the event. Always nice to see. Andrew Kane, a top-notch bowler himself and former Team USA member. Oh, look at O'Keefe missing an easy spare in the first. That is not what you want to see. Just can't afford to give away pins on easy spares.
Nope, she's in a pretty good place right now, number 2,
Yeah.
but still.
Still not completely locked in, though.
Agreed.
Yeah, she's got work to do. Can't afford to lay back at all. People like Erin McCarthy have no room for error the rest of the way here. She really needs to shoot about 750, 770 to have a real legit shot to make the show, I think, these last 3 games. And that's a tall order, but she's certainly capable of it. The problem is she can never put 3 big games together. There's always a bad game in there.
Off on,
week.
off on, off on.
Yep.
O'Keefe came back with a strike after that, missing a 3-6-10. And I imagine we'll have those standings
Pretty quick,
quickly.
hopefully. Yeah.
Rachel Perez. Oh, my goodness. Did everything but knock
9.
down the 9. Wow.
And Missy with a 210 here in the second.
And again, due to the complete unpredictability of Erin McCarthy, she could shoot a 280 here.
She could. You never know.
I mean, it's very
290,
possible.
290 is your max, actually.
Yeah. I mean, she could. She struck out to throw. Oh, my goodness. Look what happened to Brenda Padilla.
4 through the face. That
wow.
That's the, I think the only way you can get 4 by hitting the head pin right there is you take the ball just drives right through and leaves the split. You can't see it, but.
Oh, and converted. Missy Parkin on the 210.
How about that? Nice to see. They just updated the standings on the board in-house here.
Linda Barnes is 9th?
Yeah, something's wrong there. That can't be right. What did Linda shoot last game?
She had a good game. She was in the 240s or 230s.
Yeah, it's wrong.
They have Kelly, Shannon, Brenda, Missy, and Stephanie tied.
Yeah, I wouldn't lend much credence to that. It looks like there's a problem.
All right, well, Kelly first and Shannon second makes sense. After that, we're not so sure. Linda Barnes comes through with a strike in the second frame. And Tennille Milligan has just a 7-pin to convert to have an early lead on Leanne Hulsenberg. Missy Parkin, 7-pin. So Brenda Padilla only picked up 3 of the 6 she left behind. So she's messed herself up big time on count.
And I think Mark might be listening upstairs. Mark, if you're listening, check that out. Linda Barnes' score from game 13. See if we can get that corrected.
That doesn't seem right.
Yeah, it's not. There's no way she dropped.
Well, she's doing all she can do as she doubles. So Shannon O'Keefe got a huge break. She missed a 3-6-10, shopping out the 3 and the 6, and came back with a strike, and then Brenda Padilla with a disastrous shot. But give Brenda credit, she came back and struck in the 3rd frame. And Tennille Milligan with a fist pump after getting a mixed strike.
John Lucido, tournament director, has just noticed what we've noticed, that the standings are wrong, and he's running to, just gave me the, cut sign. He's like, don't talk about the standings. They're wrong.
We won't.
So he's going to get it fixed.
A Brooklyn strike for Rachel Perez.
And Mark says he's on it right now.
Okay, I figured that. Yeah, we're far from a group of math majors here. We figured out that,
Yeah, that's right.
that something didn't look right.
Yeah, Linda doesn't shoot 245 and drop to 9th place. That doesn't not possible. It has her, for some reason, it has her in the 181 and losing, I would guess. And so I don't know if somebody else in the field shot 181, and maybe that's where it came from, the score transposed. That's why the scores are unofficial, sir. You were asking, so that's why they're unofficial.
Thank you. And Shannon O'Keefe has a new tell today. Instead of hopping to the right, she's now kind of doing an inverted double fist pump. Erin McCarthy is having a somewhat typical Erin McCarthy up-down.
Yep.
Only all in one game. This time she's left herself a 2-8-10.
Almost impossible to make. Brenda Padilla. It's a double for her. She rebounds after that 4-count leave on the spare in the second. You can see it there. 4-3 in the second frame. There's a 4 through the face split.
Well, now they've moved Linda up to 7th. They have Shannon O'Keefe in 5th. Oh, that doesn't sound right either.
We'll have to see. He must still be working on it. That's still not right.
I don't think it
I
is.
don't believe.
Yeah. And Tennille Milligan, a 7-10 in her 5th frame in her match with Leanne Hulsenberg.
Brenda, 3 in a row.
That is through. This is an old set of standings we have here. So, Linda Barnes, 3 in a row after opening with a spare. Missy Parkin gets a lot of ball reaction to get a strike in the 4th.
And now the moment you've all been waiting for, Chris Barnes.
Oh my God, he is going to show up. No. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting close to 1,000 views, so goodness. And that round of applause you heard comes from none other than Chris Barnes.
Yeah, I'm not an impartial observer.
I'm not asking you to be.
That's great. We'll get along just fine.
Okay. We now have, thank you, John. All right, here we go. Wow, Linda did drop down to 6th. And that's because Brenda Padilla dropped.
Stephanie Nation went around both of
Yep,
them.
Stephanie 256. So here's Kelly. Okay, we got that. Shannon O'Keefe, Missy Parkin, who had a 278 in Game 3. Listen to the top 4. Stephanie Nation a 256 to go to 4th. And she only has a 6-pin advantage over Brenda Padilla. There's Linda, only 3 off the show, 3 pins. And then Tennille Milligan now 38 back. Erin McCarthy 8th, 136 back of 5th. Yuka Tashia 144 back. Then Kayla Bandy, Liz Johnson, Rachel Perez, Jody Wessner, Leanne Hulsenberg, Brittany Hamilton, and Rocio Restrepo rounding out the group. So only 3 pins separate Linda. And by the way, Linda Barnes is only 9 out of 4th. So again, we mentioned Lucas will take a photo of that and put it on his Facebook page. While Brenda Padilla is unhappy with the single pinch. Is that an 8?
Yeah, stone 8. That's a terrible break after a 4-3 early, coming off of a 180 game on a pair that's been really high scoring so far, 45 and 6. Pretty disappointed. Erin McCarthy back 136. She has an open on that 45 and 6 as well. Probably a little disappointing there. That's a good pair to catch. Stephanie Nation and Linda are both on pairs that have been pretty low scoring so far today. But the last game, O'Keefe kind of broke through, and Stephanie Nation shot 250 on it early, which was huge over everyone else that bowled on that pair. Leanne Holzenberg and Erin McCarthy started. They both threw it slow from about 17 or 18 and really broke that pair down poorly and made it pretty difficult for everyone chasing them for a while.
And Tennille Milligan, who desperately needs those bonus pins, in trouble against Leanne Holzenberg, the defending champion, and putting up a good game here after 9 spare, 5 straight strikes. And Tennille has left a sleeper.
Leanne's on the move, too. She shot 730 her last 3, so it's probably not catching her at a very good time.
She may not be able to make the show, though. I think she's too far back.
She's almost 300 off the show. Before today started, she was in big trouble.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow. Not her best shot, but a little bit inside of target.
Well, we've had a bunch of questions, and you are the guy to ask about what boulders are throwing. Did you get a chance at what Kelly Kulik has been throwing today?
You know, I haven't. She hasn't been very close to Linda at all, so
okay.
I'm not sure. It kind of looks like a game breaker to me. I know it's awfully dark, and so I think it's a pretty good chance it's a ball she keeps in her bag. Very often, Linda's been throwing a combination of balls, but wicket and counter right now.
Kelly's been throwing the Pursuit, according to
there you
Jason
go.
Couch.
All right, excellent. Missy Parkin has been tremendous the last couple of games, has now thrown 3 straight. She's in search of her first U.S. Open title. She has a Queen's Championship from 2011. Shannon O'Keefe, after an Open, and she missed your favorite spare, the 3-6-10, has strung together 6 straight. And Linda threw the face that time, and she left a 4-6-10. Again, you can get the updated standings on Lucas Wiseman's Facebook page. So just simply go to Facebook. I can't make it any easier than that. And Lucas Wiseman, that's L-U-C-K-S, Wiseman, just like it sounds. Well, you could be Lucas Haas, right? You hear the K, the actor. So Linda will get the count. We only got 1 out of those 3.
All right. Well, said it's really come down to 4 players battling out for the show here. Stephanie at 85.43. Brenda 6 pins behind her. Linda on the other side of the cut number, 3 pins back of the show, and Tennille 38 back of the show. Erin McCarthy with another Open is running out of time very quickly at 136 back.
And Jason, if I could ask you a favor, Stephanie Nation's off where we can't see her. Can you get her score for us?
She's off to a slow start. She's open, spare, double.
So she's in the bottom of that scoreboard.
Yeah, 190 down there through 6 frames.
There it is.
She is on a strike. That pair is really tight.
Is it?
It's much slicker
than
the pairs on this side of the concourse. It's been one of the that and 39 and 40 have been the tricky pairs for most everybody.
Yeah, we just cannot see down there at all. We can obviously see who it is, but what they're doing is tough to see sometimes. So, and Rachel Perez just missed a 7-pin, and it wasn't even close. So she really helped Linda Barnes there. Now that's a 28-pin difference. Both of them off open frames with 3 frames to go in that match.
Tennille Milligan with a chance to strike out here for 227. A big 10th frame for her. She's not going to win this game, as Leanne is she's on a 250 pace already. So even with an Open, she will win the game, but 220 will keep Tennille close enough.
Well, Brenda Padilla
is
Chris, is probably not going to beat Shannon O'Keefe. Can I go ahead and call that? Or
Yeah, that one you can call, I think, for sure.
so Brenda won't get the 30 bonus pin, so she's going to have to try to get.
And she's kind of lost her rhythm right now. Bowling 180 on that end pair where they have been pretty good. She's crossed up with ball reaction at the moment. She's looking at 180 again. She's going to be on the outside looking in after this game. Tennille, the first one in the 10th. Puts her on 2-teen pace. Linda on a 2-teen pace through 7.
Not surprisingly, there are a bunch of questions being thrown your way that only you can answer. And I know you want to watch this, so there might be time in between matches to get to some of them, unless you feel like answering them now.
Well, the new Columbia line actually is really good. The one thing that's consistent across the board is all of them hook more down lane than last year's versions. So the Violent Eruption's got a lot of good reviews already. The other two balls are not out yet, but the Wicked Encounter, I shot my highest set in about 18 years while I was in Japan last week doing demos. Shot 840 with that.
Was that no tap?
Yeah, you'd think so, but actually real games, that's got to go a lot.
Wow, that's really got to hurry.
Oh.
All right, well, Linda is a good person, so every once in a while the good people get a break.
Need a little parlay off that.
Yeah.
Tennille got the second one in the 10th for 227.
Meantime, Shannon O'Keefe hasn't missed since the open in the first, and now she starts the 10th frame with a strike. So
she's locking herself into the show.
I was going to say, yeah, I think we'll be interviewing her later.
Her and Missy Parkin are going to battle it out for that second seed. Missy on a 220 pace, bowling very well herself. Tennille finishes with 226.
That's solid, but she won't win.
No, that's going to come into play here.
And just to remind everybody, when we tape tomorrow night's program, it'll be the stepladder final, 5 finalists, 4 versus 5. Winner plays 3. Winner of that match plays 2, and the winner goes for it all against number 1. And that's a solid pocket hit for Linda Barnes.
Parlay that, little break into a double.
And Chris, do you kind of get the feeling that Erin McCarthy is bowling her way out of the picture here?
Yeah, she was on live support anyway, and this was a good pair. She needed to have probably 700 at least her last 3 to have a chance, and she's got to strike out now for 2-0, which is as big as her good games are. It's still possible, but now with a miss, she's looking at 170 at best. Hold on just a minute.
Yeah, of course, of course. A quick conference with Chris and Linda, bowling related, I imagine.
I don't know if it's should I put the microphone in there or not?
No, that's okay.
Let them talk it out.
Rachel Perez goes through the face for a 3-6-10. And so Linda just about has nailed this match. And with it, the 30 bonus pins. Brenda Padilla is really hurting herself here, Lucas.
Yeah, she can only shoot 195 this game. She's going to lose. And well, she was 5th coming into this one. She's going to drop out of the top 5, I would assume.
Yes, I think so. It was
Tennille
close.
shot 226 and lost. So Tennille's going to narrow that gap a little bit with Brenda.
And Rachel Perez is fading at the worst time possible. And, Chris, you brought up an interesting point. Whoever runs into Leanne Hulsenberg right now isn't going to enjoy it. Oh, sorry, we turned you off so your conversation would be private.
It's not a good time for to be bowling Leanne. 258 there again. She's now shot nearly 1,000 for her last 4. Very Kelly Kulik-like performance.
And I know a lot of fans always ask about Kelly. She's just so darn far ahead, and she's on a pace to throw a 234.
Which would actually be a tie. I mean, she's ahead by a lot and hasn't really bowled that well in 10th frames. Her first 9 frames, however, have been outstanding.
Yeah, well, she's got 2 strikes here. She had a 299 yesterday, and a 290 today, right?
Yeah, she's opened in the 10th and a couple of times, and
I'm sorry, 279.
And struck out a couple more, and still is just, she's pummeling 238, 237, 264, 247, 279. It's been kind of Groundhog Day. She was 340 over for 8 games yesterday with a 180 game, and showing her dominance. She's basically bowling on the mids tour made her a great shot maker from the middle of the lane and from the right. And the other power players can't keep up with her there.
Wow.
And then when she moves left, she has a power advantage over other shot makers. Plus, she hits her target more often.
Guys, Stephanie Nation can max out at 225 this game, and she will beat Rocio Restrepo.
We have a pretty good question here. What effect do I think the weather may have on bowling tomorrow night, especially if it's as windy as I keep hearing it's been? You know, the one time we bowled the Six Flags thing in Chicago during the summer, it was very windy. And the one thing that happens is you get a lot of dust on the lanes, and that dust makes the lanes change really quick. You won't have nearly as much heat, so you won't have as much dissipation. I mean, the oil won't go away that way, but there'll be a lot more friction in the surface, and what you're going to see probably is a lot of balls hitting flat down lane because they're rolling through a lot of gravel on the way to the head pin.
And Linda looking for a number, has a 10-pin stay up, but still, she's got her match against Rachel Perez locked up.
Yeah, that was a big shot, though. With all the scores all bundled up here, she was only 10 pins behind Stephanie. Stephanie is going to shoot at least 210 now.
She's going to shoot 225 if she strikes out, and it'll be a win.
She has her first one in the 10th, so she's on 210. Linda has that spare. She's on 223.
Missy Parkin doing very well. Also, speaking of people who are bolting themselves onto the show, I'm liking Missy's chances more and more. She's going to pick up a win over Erin McCarthy, who struck out but finished with a 188. And Missy could easily strike out here.
She is virtually locked into the show. Like I said, her and O'Keefe now are going to be basically tied going into these last two games for that second seed.
So we've got Kelly, Shannon, and Missy pretty much locked into the show. And then who we have battling out for the last two spots? Stephanie, Brenda, Linda, and Tennille.
That basically is what it is. Erin McCarthy did strike out for 188, but she lost another 40 pins to the show, so she's going to be back at least 140. She lost more than that. She lost basically.
She lost a lot, yeah.
She was 130 behind Linda, who will now go into fifth, and she lost.
We've had a few questions about Jody Wessner. She's had a bad game, or is having a bad game. She's at 139 through 9, and Kayla Bandy won easily with a 238.
Yeah, Jody's in 13th right now, and she's bowled good, but the bad pairs are killing her. Rotation-wise, rounding out the after that top 8 with Erin McCarthy, you have Yuka Tashaya from Tokyo.
She shot 219 and a win.
Kayla Bandy is in 10th, Liz Johnson 11th, Rachel Perez. You see in front of us, Jody Wassner's 13th, Holzenberg's 14th and moving up quickly. Brittany Hamilton's 15th, and Rocio Restrepo is 16th.
Kayla Bandy, 238 with a win.
So we'll have just 2 games left?
Yeah, and there'll be a little bit of a break here between games 6 and 7. The scoring system handles 6 games at a time, and so they have to get it going again. I don't think it'll be a very long break, though.
It shouldn't be terribly. It's a pretty small field, and they've done a pretty good job of getting the scores up right off the bat. Comment of if Erin McCarthy would have seen where Kelly was playing. Well, Erin's played the same place the whole time, so I think she's had a good view of Kelly, but that's not the reason why. She's thrown that taboo from pretty much 17-18 on the good pairs. She's just crushed them, but the bad pairs have just wrecked her. And without all the traffic from qualifying, where everybody's playing to the right and helping break the lanes down for, the pair-to-pairs throughout this match play have been really tricky. 25 and 6 is really tight. Any pair early in and starts turns out to be hooking more to the left, and you have to kind of get through that tricky pair. What's the other one? 31 is pretty tight down lane to the right, has been since they opened in 1995. They're not bowling on 41 and 2, which is a good catch because 42 is another one of those lanes. The two lanes are pretty different.
We'll see how this is going to work. Leanne Hulsenberg will be right in front of us. Hi, Leanne. She looked up when I said her name. And she's not going to make the show, but, man, she is rolling it as well as anybody at the moment.
She'll probably move up at least 2, maybe 3 spots. She'll move up to 11th probably that game. May have a chance to move up into the top 10 with a couple of more good games like that.
No, it's a great performance from your defending champion.
I am probably going to move along and resume my role as cheerleader.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. Where is Linda?
She'll be on 31 and 2.
Oh, far away from us, unfortunately.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, we can keep up with her. She'll be up against
Kayla Bandy.
Kayla Bandy. All right, well, thanks, Chris. I'll see you a little bit
All
later,
right,
I'm
guys.
sure.
Have a good one.
Production meeting, 8:30. Don't miss it.
There we go.
So Lucas will come back in. And just to reset, by the way, Lucas, I wasn't here. Who won the seniors?
It was Robin Romeo.
Great.
Yep, she
Fantastic.
took down Lucy Sandelin, who had led wire to wire.
Yep.
And Robin shot 225 and won 225 to 188. And I believe they're doing a small package on the seniors for the show.
Yes, they are.
As well.
Yes.
So that they were out here shooting that.
Yep. So
And,
you'll get a chance to see that when we put the show on the air on July 3rd.
That's correct. And they got the names in pretty quick, so they're going to
Great.
start this game. And then there will be a delay after this one as they verify all the scores for the position round.
So directly in front of us, Jody Westner, Rachel Perez, and let's be frank about it, neither of these two looks like they're any threat to make the show. Leanne Hulsenberg and I've been working on Yuka's last name because I've had a couple people suggest you start it almost as in, I hate to use this word, tsunami, but it's Suchia. And then Chris said it differently. But I'm going to go with what you said last night. And this, we talked about Leanne Hulsenberg's hot bowling, and she didn't roll a particularly great ball there and left a 6-10. Kelly, oh, this is a nice match. Even though it probably doesn't have a huge impact on the whole field, Missy Park and Kelly Kulik, I'd sign up for that in a heartbeat. And Shannon O'Keefe and Stephanie Nation. So as we await the standings.
And we may see Parkin and Kulik on the show tomorrow. You know,
I think so. I think
possible.
I think, well, Kelly's on the show. Shannon O'Keefe certainly is going to be on the show, and I would go ahead and say that Missy is on the show as well. And Stephanie Nation opened for the strike. Stephanie made the Queen show. It's a great accomplishment to make both. It's even better to win them both, which Kelly did a couple of years ago. And Kelly will be back on another U.S. Open show.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. Our live coverage of the U.S. Women's Open brought to you by the United States Bowling Congress. Your USBC membership dollars at work for you here today. And the U.S. Women's Open is presented by the brands of Ebonite International. So big thanks to Ebonite for their sponsorship of women's bowling. Jana King, Lipton, and the Reno Tri-Properties, the Eldorado, Silver Legacy, and Circus. Circus also sponsors of this event.
And I want to know about on Shannon O'Keefe. Really good.
And that would be Mr. O'Keefe. That's,
he's
over
that's
in
who that
Thailand,
is.
And it's
she's on the show,
she's,
Mr. O'Keefe.
Yeah, virtually on the show.
Yeah, I'm calling it. I'm calling it.
You're
Lucas
call it?
refuses to call it. I'm calling it.
Yeah, she should be about 200 pins above the number with 2 games to go. So I think that
unless she starts, throwing it behind her back or something.
And there she is, right there, deep. She's started with a strike here, and it's a little light there, but carries for the double. And congratulations to you, Brian, and the rest of Junior Team USA and the coaching staff on Marshall Kent's big victory in Thailand yesterday. Won the gold medal in the boys singles. So let's hope that the boys can throw some more strikes today in the doubles event.
So if it's, what is it in Thailand, like September?
It would be 7:51 a.m. in Thailand right now, tomorrow.
Well,
so they're just waking up, getting ready to start their day over there.
Missy Parker and Kelly Kulik both opening with doubles. And I thought, Lucas, you made an excellent point a couple of games ago. We're starting to see the established name players, the Missy Parkins, the Stephanie Nations, the Shannon O'Keefes, Kelly, Linda Barnes, the past champions and great players beginning to make moves at the end.
That's what normally happens in these tournaments, as we watch Jody Westner. And, and I said that there was going to be a little gap develop between 7th and 8th, and that's what happened last game. And we'll have to see what that gap looks like after game 38 that just wrapped up. We've got 2 more to go, this one and then a position round to determine our 5 finalists. Kelly Kulik is going to be the top seed on the show. There's no doubt about that. She will bowl for the title again for another year. She's got 2 wins at this tournament, a 2nd place finish, and now she'll have a chance for guaranteed no worse than 2nd again.
This is some sterling bowling between Shannon O'Keefe and Stephanie Nation, opening with triples. both
Yeah.
of them.
And more important for Stephanie because she's right there on the bubble. But, Shannon wants to try to get that number 2 spot if she can, because that's one last match you have to bowl on the show.
And Stephanie has bowled her way into the show, and not gently either. She hasn't inched her way up. She's crashed the party, and she's not on it yet, and she is definitely, it's her, Linda Barnes, Tennille Milligan, and I'm leaving somebody, Brenda Padilla, who are basically fighting for the last 2 spots on our stepladder finals.
And they just updated the board in the house here. If it's right, let's hope it's right this time.
Yeah, we'll see.
Should be. If it's up there, it should be right. Looks like Shannon's still in second, Missy third, Stephanie fourth, Linda fifth. Now a 62-pin gap between fifth and sixth.
Yep, Tennille Milligan in sixth, and Brenda Padilla fell off the top 5 and is now 7th.
I don't know what Tennille bowled last game, but it's not on the boards anywhere. But Tennille has started open, strike, open down there, and that's not a good sign for her with only, what amounts to 16 frames to go in the tournament.
And Linda Barnes is strike and spare so far. And her match against Kayla Bandy.
Look at the standings. A little fuzzy, but I think you guys can read it okay.
There you go.
Again, those are completely unofficial, so subject to change, of course.
So she is right in 8th, hanging in there. By the way, you've been corrected on, it may be 8:51.
No, it is definitely 7:50.
Okay.
Yep, for sure.
You know what? You've been there. I haven't. So I will.
And I've been dealing with communicating with them out there on getting results, so got to know what time it is out there. But yes, I've been there multiple times, many times, to Southeast Asia. And O'Keefe just went 210 miss on both of them in the 4th, so 3 in a row.
Yes. Yeah, they look right. Del Ballard asking, do the scores look right? We think they are.
Yeah, we'll see when they give us the hard copy. The hard copy we get, I think, is official.
Yeah.
That takes a little bit longer than the one they post in house here. Missy with a big Greek church there.
Yes, sir.
So that means Kulik looks like she might take this game, even though it's early. It's front 4 for Kulik as we take a look at Shannon. She left a 10 pin on that shot.
Somebody asked what Shannon is throwing, and if her husband is listening, he would probably be able to answer that question for us.
Now, Shannon throws DV8 stuff, so some sort of DV8 ball. DV8 or Brunswick.
Missy Parkin took the 3 to the right of the Greek church, so she goes 5-3 open in the 4th after a good start, and Kelly Kulik has already started with 4 in a row, as has Stephanie Nation.
Yeah, big game for Nation, Barnes, Milligan, and Padilla. Those are the 4 battling for 2 spots.
Missy and Kelly is for fun. As Kelly's on the show, and Missy Parkin is looking very good for making it. She did not have a great Queens, much to everyone's surprise. So she's more than made up for it. Oh, and she leaves a split. 4-7-10. Here's Nation with 4 straight. Perfect. Stephanie Nation, who was on the Queen's show. Deandra Asbady bowled unbelievably well yesterday, but was so far back that she just couldn't make the final 16. She got off to a slow start, never quite recovered. The reigning Queen's champ, Parkin would take 2 of 3, so she has had 2 splits and 2 opens in consecutive frames through 5 and is now well back of Kelly Kulik.
And they are, looks like they're handing out sheets here.
And here's Stephanie Nation now trying to go for the front 6.
Hulsenberg pulls that, trips the 4-9 out.
Nope, not going to happen for Stephanie that time. Unless the 10 is up, she left only the 4. We're slightly blocked out there, so if the 10 pin had been up, we wouldn't have been able to see it.
Yeah, right now Tennille Milligan 62 pins off the show. And Brenda Padilla 66 pins off the show. And then it drops to Yuka Tsuchiya at 145 back of the number. So it really does look like it's going to be that 4 people for 2 spots. And right now, O'Keefe is solidly in the number by 280 pins. So even though Shannon O'Keefe has had a split this game for an open frame, she's going to be on the show. It's a matter of what position. Missy Parkin, more than 200 pins above 6th, so she's virtual lock, even though she's struggling this game.
And while Lucas takes a photo of that to post on his Facebook page, Kelly Kulik hits the front 6. She's been frighteningly good today. The best analogy I can think of for her is that she's like a great pitcher who's thrown 100 pitches and 80 of them have been for strikes. She's just been that sharp. And Shannon O'Keefe has come back with a strike in the 6th. So Missy Parkin struggling in this game, much to a lot of people's surprise, certainly mine. And trying to keep up on the Bandy Barnes match as Parkin gets a kick off the 4. And
no doubles for Barnes.
No doubles, and Bandy's got him.
Bandy's got a double. She's up by 8. And that standing sheet is being uploaded right now to my Facebook, facebook.com/LucasUSBC. Should be there in just a minute or two.
After this game, there'll be a pause, and Jason has agreed to sing a couple of his hit songs, and look forward to it. And then we'll bring you the final game of qualifying, then we'll shut it down for the day. I know this question, Lucas, comes up a lot, and a lot of people who are new to the chat for the day, but anytime ESPN is televising one of these events, whether it's tape or live, we can't bring it to you on Bowl TV, or Lucas can't bring it to you on Bowl TV.
I'd love to if I could.
Yeah, I think everybody understands why.
Yeah.
Stephanie Nation got a big break and gets a strike in the 7th.
Yeah, talk about stepping up here in this final game. Stephanie Nation's doing it. Right now, Stephanie is 71 pins above 6th, and this a big game here could virtually lock her into the show. That's the way it's looking. Tennille and Brenda, where are they located? I don't think we have them, do we?
No, Brenda walked by here to pick up something she'd left behind and then dashed back down to the far left. Brenda is as far away from us as possible.
Yeah, Brenda's bowling Rocio Restrepo, and Brenda has not doubled through 6 frames.
All right.
And Tennille Milligan, 146 in the 7th and a spare in the 8th, so she can shoot 226 this game. But she's losing because Brittany Hamilton had the front 6 and then threw an open frame. So Tennille Milligan is not bowling terrible, but she's losing the bonus pins here.
No, and Stephanie Nation is getting them, although Shannon O'Keefe is bowling pretty well. Not well enough.
So look at the scoreboard between Restrepo and Padilla.
All relative, though. Pardon me, as Shannon O'Keefe has now thrown 3 straight strikes.
I think Brenda Padilla is on the verge of potentially falling out of the conversation here this game unless she can find a way to start throwing a couple of strikes.
Kelly's run at perfection ended with a 10-pin, which he picks up on lane 40. But again, she's just right now practicing. Of course, we're not going to be in this building tomorrow night. We'll be outside on Virginia Street, dealing with elements, dealing with conditions that the players are not familiar with. So we'll see how they translate their games and how quickly they can make the necessary adjustments. And Lucas, I don't know if you were able to hear what Chris Barnes had to say, but he believes that dust is going to be a factor if it's windy.
Yeah, and I was saying that too, but I thought it'd be dust in the eyes, and he thinks dust on the lane,
Dust on the
which
lanes.
combination of both probably won't be good.
We may be getting some gusty breezes tomorrow night. Otherwise, we will not. And again, I know I'm repeating some of the things I've said earlier, but for the new viewers, it will not rain tomorrow. And the temperatures should actually be pretty nice. Once the sun goes down, it ought to be very comfortable. It'll be in the mid to high 80s tomorrow during the day. Oh, nice pickup there on the 7-8.
camera, yeah.
By Shannon O'Keefe.
Shannon O'Keefe made the 7-8 in the ninth.
Here's Linda Barnes, who's working against a very hot Kayla Bandy, who's dropped 4 straight strikes on her. Linda is clean through 7.
It's
through
starting
8 now?
It's starting to shape up through 8. Yes,
Yeah.
it's starting to shape up. Like Stephanie Nation's going to pull away,
Okay.
and we're going to have a 3-way race for the last spot, and that's going to be between Linda Barnes, Tennille Milligan, and Brenda Padilla, and it's going to depend on how they finish this game. Neither of the 3 are bowling a big game this time, and all 3 of them have the potential to lose this game.
What's Linda's max? 218?
That's correct.
Okay.
And Kayla Bandy's going at about a 220, 230 pace.
Stephanie Nation is ripping it. Only 1 frame without a strike through 9.
Yeah,
And
Stephanie doesn't want to go into that position round with anything in doubt. She wants to be on the show, and she's looking more solid every strike that she throws.
So as we would like it, the 5 versus 6 match is going to have some significance. 7 and 8 might, but 5 and 6 will.
Brittany Hamilton just opened against Tennille Milligan in the 9th frame, and so Tennille's going to have an outside shot to come from behind and win it in the 10th.
Giving the veteran a chance.
And that would be big for Tennille because she's already 62 off the show, and if she could win the game and get 30 pins here, she could pull to within 20 or 30 pins of Linda Barnes with 1 game to go. And remember, the position round is next, so 1 versus 2, 3 versus 4, and 5 versus 6, and very well could come down to that 5-6 match to determine the last spot. That's what it's shaping up.
Yeah, I think it will. And at Lucas's demand, not even request, I believe he demanded it that it be put where we can watch it on Bowl TV.
We have to be able to see that. That's the most important match of the whole time on Bowl TV.
Couple things. I know there's other players that you all are interested in. Jody Westner won 58 through 8 in her match with Rachel Perez. That's virtually even. Perez should be able to handle a single pin in the 8th frame. Leanne Hulsenberg trailing Yuka Shia, who's had a tremendous tournament, a very talented bowler from Japan. And right now Yuka has the edge in that one, 157 through 8. Hulsenberg gets a strike, however, and she's 153 through 8, off of a strike in there. Missy Parkin, bless you, Lucas, hits her spare. Erin McCarthy bowling Liz Johnson and beating her. Liz not going to make the show.
Yeah, neither of those players are going to be in.
Nope. Stephanie Nation converts a spare. She cooled off and left the 610. She handles it and bowls a 267.
Yep, and that's a winner, too.
Wow. That's
Shannon O'Keefe can only shoot 232.
That's a plus 97 for Stephanie Nation.
And that's virtually going to lock her into the show because if you look down, Brenda Padilla and Linda Barnes, neither of them have had a double this game, and they're through 8 frames. Tennille Milligan's had a couple of opens, but she has had some strikes. She just doubled in the 10th and to get to 220. She'll get to 226 this game. There's a big 10th frame going to be coming up for Brittany Hamilton, who has absolutely not in the picture whatsoever.
Right.
But if she strikes out, she beats Tennille Milligan and gives Tennille's hopes a hit.
And Linda Barnes, who is up right now in the foundation.
She's down quite a bit.
Got it.
See Tennille off in the distance there. And Brenda's in a tight game with Rocio Restrepo. Brenda up by 7 on Rocio with about a frame and a half to go. There's Tennille. Fill ball coming up for her. She's thrown 4 in a row right now. It's her second. It's 3 in a row, I'm sorry. It looks like she may have struck on the line. Nope. 9. It's 225. So
That's
Brittany
solid.
Hamilton will need a double and 5 pins to win the game. And that would be bad news for Tennille Milligan.
And bad news for Linda Barnes if she doesn't do it.
Yeah, and Linda's up right now, and she just doubled.
I'd say she got that. Yep.
Yeah. Well, if Linda shoots 218 and loses, and Tennille shoots 225 and loses, Tennille only makes up 7 pins, and she's still down 55 going into the last game.
So it seems like those two are destined for the 5-6 game.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. But it could be a 25-pin deficit for Tennille if Brittany doesn't strike out. And that would make things very interesting because then essentially whoever wins the final game wins the spot on the show.
Now Brittany is up now, and she's well off to our left. Linda Barnes trying to make it 3 straight.
I mean, I cannot stress the importance of these shots by Brittany Hamilton here. And she missed the head.
Badly.
Yep.
Yeah, not even close.
Yeah, so that's a big win for Tennille.
However,
And Brenda's still in the picture, too. She can shoot 219 and win, and she would hang pace with both of them, and it's going to be real close down the stretch. And Linda Barnes just doubled the 10th, which I think is where you were going.
Yep, that's exactly where I was going. And she ends up with that 218. She'll still hang on at the 5 spot.
Yeah, but the gap is going to narrow
Shrink.
considerably.
Yep,
yeah.
absolutely.
Both Brenda and Tennille. And Brenda just struck first one in the 10th
Linda
to
finished
lock
with
it
a
up.
217, Lucas.
Yeah.
So
what happened here is both Milligan and Padilla win their games. Barnes loses, and they all 3 bowl about the same game. But now it's about a 25 pin or so
let's
lead for Linda
figure it out
over
right
Tennille.
now.
Yeah,
255, 217 is 38. So Tennille should be 24 back of Linda Barnes. What did Padilla throw?
She's not done yet, but she just left a. Nope, that was Brittany. Padilla can strike out for 219 and win. She's going to win.
So that would be 49, and she would be 219 and win, you think?
Yes.
Okay. So she would still be in 7th place.
208. Yeah, she will still be in 7th.
Right.
But she's within very close distance of Linda Barnes. It's going to be
right. So
she'll probably be about 40 pins back or so.
So now let's see, who will she bowl in the final match?
It should be Linda versus Tennille.
But I'm talking
and
of who's
Brenda,
Padilla.
Yeah, Brenda should probably bowl either Yuka or Kayla.
That's going to be close because Hulsenberg, Leanne can win this match and hurt Yuka.
Kayla, yeah. And it doesn't really matter because none of them can make the show. It's just a matter of who Brenda will have to bowl.
And that can make a difference.
It can. And it looks like it will be Yuka.
And Yuka just picked up the win, I think, in this match. She did. So
Yeah.
she picks up 7 plus the 30.
Yeah, it's gonna be Yuka bowling Brenda in that match. At least that's what it looks like right now.
I'm going to get to the concession stand to beat the rush. You guys want anything?
I'm good.
Okay?
Thank you. Yeah.
So I'll be back in a little bit.
All right, Dave Lamont. Missy finishing up with 189. Weather report coming in from Danielle Dozier says the winds are going to pick up tomorrow later in the evening, 5 to 15, gusting to 25, and that's tomorrow. So we'll wait for the position round here, so stick with us. Position round going to be coming up in just a few minutes here on Bowl TV. Don't go anywhere. We're going to find out who's going to be on the telecast in just a couple of minutes.
The United States Bowling Congress is shaping the future of bowling, helping kids learn the sport the right way and awarding thousands of scholarships every year. USBC supports Special Olympics and America's best when they go for the gold as the home and heart of Team USA. We're reaching for new heights in research, raising the bar with spectacular national tournaments, and have raised millions of dollars to help fight cancer and support veterans. Visit bowl.com to learn more.
My teammates, we all were looking for another challenge to make our game a little bit better, and the Sport League was the first step in doing so. So we tried it. We found the flaws in our game, and you know, when you go on a house shot, you do pretty well, and you think you're a good bowler, and then you go on a tougher condition, and it really brings you back down to earth, and you know you have to work on some things.
How has the sport bowling experience helped you with tournament play and competitive play? Because when you get out somewhere where there's a different pattern, you feel like you probably have a little bit of advantage.
Sure, experience is the key. So, you know, having the sport, understanding that there are different patterns and different ways to play the pattern. Now, when you go to a tournament, if you're one-dimensional, you're finished. But if you have an idea of, oh, I can move here, change ball, rotation, all these other factors, now you have a little bit better arm to face that condition.
It started a couple years ago, and I knew I needed an extra challenge. League was fun, but it wasn't preparing me for my weekend tournaments, and when I traveled, I felt unprepared. So I wanted to get into the sport bowling to really challenge myself and hone my skills, so that I went to, like I said, a tournament. I was prepared and ready to bowl.
Obviously, when you first start, it's a little bit frustrating. Your average takes a dive a little bit, but if you stick with it, for people who may want to give this a try, sticking with it does help.
Absolutely. You just gotta, you know, take your lumps and expect not to average 220 like you do on your league night, and say, you know, it's okay averaging 180, 190 and getting up into the 200s, and you feel like you've accomplished something averaging 200 on a sport pattern.
As we await the start of the final round of match play, the position round, again, want to welcome you back to the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, Nevada, to Bowling's U.S. Women's Open. Appreciate everybody joining us here on Bowl TV. Want to thank the sponsors of this year's U.S. Women's Open, the brands of Ebonite International. Also, Janiking. Janiking will have the Janiking Party Zone out on the streets of Reno during the finals, so we look forward to seeing the celebration there. Also, Lipton. It's summertime. Great time for some iced tea. Thank you to Lipton for being one of the sponsors of Bowling's U.S. Women's Open. And the Tri-Property Hotel, Casino, and Resorts here in Reno, our hosts, Circus El Dorado and Silver Legacy. A couple of great places to spend some time on vacation. Got a lot of bowling events coming here to Reno in the future, and certainly encourage you to stay at the Tri-Property Hotels.
14th place on lanes.
Sounds like now they're announcing the pairs.
She'll be competing against Jody Westner in 13th place.
See if we can listen in and hear what they're saying.
32, Leanne Hulsenberg. She'll be competing against Liz Johnson on lane 31. On lane 34, 10th place, Erin McCarthy. She'll be competing against Kayla Bandy on lane 33.
So McCarthy, Bandy in the 9-10.
On lane 38, in 8th place, Yuka Shushia will be competing against, on lane 37, in 7th place, Brenda Padilla.
So as Lucas expected, the matchup there.
In 6th place,
7-8.
number 40, Camille Milligan will be competing against Linda Barnes on lane number 39.
So Barnes and Milligan on 39 and 40, what may be the contest to determine who gets the final spot on the telecast. Although Brenda Padilla is certainly still in the conversation. If you're just joining us, this is the position round coming up more or less. There are 4 bowlers who are essentially locked in to be on the TV show. Perhaps some question about in what order, but very much in doubt who will be in the 5th spot. Perhaps 3 bowlers going at it, trying to earn that last opportunity to be on the ESPN2 telecast. And as we get ready to crank it back up, we will bring back in the play-by-play voice of that ESPN2 telecast, Dave Lamont, and he'll be joined with Lucas, and perhaps Chris may come in and visit with us a little bit as well. So be sure to stick around for all the action as we take you home to the end of the match play competition here on Bowl TV. Stick around.
Thanks, Jason. The standings just coming in here, getting it posted on Facebook right now. Tennille Milligan, 24 pins behind Linda for the last spot, and Brenda is 45 pins back of the last spot. So Linda will bowl Linda will beat bowl Tennille. Essentially, the winner of the game will make the show, unless Brenda can come from behind. She would need to win her match and pick up some serious pinfall on the 2 players that are ahead of her. The other 4 players pretty much locked into the show. The number 1 seed is going to be Kelly Kulick. The number 2 seed will be Shannon O'Keefe, unless something crazy happens. Missy Parkin's 100 pins back of 2nd. So Missy Parkin in 3rd, Stephanie Nation in 4th. So Nation and Parkin could potentially flip spots there. And then again, Barnes, Milligan, and Padilla all going for the final spot on the show. And Dave is back in.
Well, this will be fun. And one of the other things is you have Linda and Tennille are very good friends, similar mindsets, and they're going right at it. Linda Barnes opens up on lane 39 with a perfect 10 straight back. But you're right, Brenda Padilla, and somebody brought up an excellent point in the chat. If Linda and Tennille don't bowl well, and Brenda does, and Milligan went Brooklyn and left the 6-pin, there's a chance that Padilla can sneak in and make the show. She's had a very good career so far, majorless though, right? But she's done some great work for Team USA, and we'll see what happens. Practice time at the moment?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to get too much practice.
No, I thought actually they were going right into it, so I apologize for making people think that there were strikes being thrown, when in fact they're getting just a little bit of practice. Just bumped into Eric Kearney. I had not met him, Kim Terrell Kearney's husband. I wasn't aware why Kim wasn't here. She had a death in their family, and so our condolences to Kim and all of and I was wondering why, because it's a great format for a player as good as Kim. But family take precedence, understandably, takes precedence.
And the two matches with some drama here, it's going to be Parkin versus Nation, Barnes versus Milligan on our featured pairs here, and an outside look at Padilla and Yuka Tsuchiya, as that one will impact who makes the show as well. The one first and second pretty much set, with Kulick first, O'Keefe second. Third, fourth, and fifth to be determined.
Just an announcement for the fans that are here that are above us. Really, a lot of folks are walking around in front of us, but quite a few people above us, and just trying to get them to cheer at the appropriate times and keep their mouths shut at the appropriate times. And it looks like we're about ready to rock here.
Kelly Kulick has really had a dominating tournament and a dominating day. If you look at her game by game, it's pretty impressive today. Her low game, 234 it looks like today. So a great day for Kelly. You can find the result sheet going into this game 40, the final game, on my Facebook page, facebook.com/LucasUSBC.
And not surprising to see some more of the boulders here. Shannon Pluhowski has popped in. Megan Kelly is here also. We saw Clara Guerrero earlier. Anne-Marie Dugan has been seen. She's still here. She's been here all day watching.
First shot for Linda Barnes in this all-important match.
Oh, got a break. And Brenda Padilla opened up with a strike in her match.
And I think that Chris Barnes so nervous about this final match that he couldn't stay in with us here.
No, but to give you an idea of the relationships here, Chris is standing next to Tennille's husband, and they're just chatting away as if you and I are chatting away. Kelly Kulik comes up with a split conversion. Spectacular shot. There's Chris in the blue. Tennille's husband to his left, and the glasses there. And now Milligan's first ball through the face, 4-6. Stephanie Nation continues probably to be, along with Kelly, the biggest winners of the day. And Shannon O'Keefe also through the face, and she leaves the big 4.
Yeah, and let's keep in mind that O'Keefe has a 100-pin lead on Missy in third, and if Shannon were to bowl a real bad game here, Missy bowl a big game and win, that could flip. Shannon could drop from second down. Or even if Stephanie were to bowl a real big game.
Well,
so Milligan has started with a 4-6 split.
And oh my God!
That's about as close as you can get to making it. That's a tough one to make, but wow.
Would have made a 410.
It's really almost impossible to make it that way, but
wow.
She almost got it.
Well, so you'll have Kelly Kulik, a past U.S. Open champion. Missy Parkin looking for the first U.S. Open to go with the queen she won in 2011. Shannon O'Keefe looking for a first major. Linda Barnes has 2 queens but no U.S. Open. And Tennille, I don't think, has won the Open. Is that correct?
I don't know off the top of my head. Don't believe so. I know she's won the queens.
So. Right. So
Milligan,
great suspense.
Second frame.
Nice. Oh, my gosh.
Was going a little high on her there. Left the 9-pin. Ball just kept driving. Watching live coverage of the final game here at the U.S. Women's Open to determine the 5 finalists for the ESPN2 broadcast. There's Brenda Padilla. She's one of the players in the mix.
Gotta hurry.
2-8 is the leave in the second. And she's going to be even through 2 frames with the Japanese sensation. Chushia. Missy Parkin. Second frame, working on a double.
Milligan easily converted the 9. Make it another strike for Parkin, so she doubles to the first 2. Padilla trying to knock out that sleeper, and she did. And now Linda Barnes on the right lane.
Linda Barnes looking to jump out to an early lead. Looks good.
Oh,
ring 10.
Good ball. Probably Chris would notice a tenth of a board off if he were sitting here. He would say she missed because she was on the 7.7 board, not the 7.8 board.
There you go. Tennille won the U.S. Open in 2000.
Thank you.
There you go. In the chat.
So we have potentially 2 past champions in the final 5.
Missy with the front 3 against Nation. Ho-hum for Kelly Kulik as she strikes again. Every spare absolutely critical here as Linda covers up the 10.
That's a great point.
Brenda has gone strike spare and left a double wood again.
Again?
Yep.
Even count starts to matter. And handles it even better this time around. Stephanie Nation, on the other hand, has left herself a 2-8-10 on the far right lane. And O'Keefe.
Yep. Yeah. That's a strike for her, first strike of the game.
Kick save and a beauty on that 10. Notice the pace has slowed down just a hair here.
Yeah.
Now Linda Barnes got a break. She was a little high and got the 4 kicked down off them, so she gets a big strike. Stephanie Nation slid the 2 into the channel.
Yeah, 45 in the third for Steph. if Brenda's going to have any shot of making it, she needs to win her match. And right now she's down 2 as O'Keefe puts double on the board.
I wonder, is this her time?
O'Keefe, it may be. She's been working hard, I can tell you that much.
Yep. And Milligan, another 9. And that one she can't believe. And I don't blame her there.
She'll be pretty upset about that.
Yep.
There's some words that we could not use on the broadcast being spewed out of Tennille Milligan's mouth, I would guess.
And I don't blame her, not one bit.
Yuka just threw a double at Brenda, so Brenda in some early trouble.
Well, Yuka's not going to be an easy out.
She's trying to play spoiler.
She has bowled well. And I know Brenda Padilla knows this. So Milligan yet to strike through 3 frames. And Linda Barnes has 2 out of 3 strikes sandwiched around a 9 spare in the second. And Stephanie Nation easily takes out the 7-pin. Kelly Kulik, who converted a split to start her match, has then thrown 3 in a row on Shannon O'Keefe. And is that Padilla who left that? That's a 2-8-10.
Yeah, and Brenda's all of a sudden in a lot of trouble. She might be fading here in the closing stretches.
She had the toughest road. She's in 7th place, trying to get to 5th. Linda Barnes holds it currently by how many over Tennille Milligan?
24.
All right.
And Tennille.
That's her first strike.
If that one hadn't struck, she would have been upset.
And we're moving a couple of one of the cameras around to get a good look. Padilla opens in the 4th. In fact, we have a ton of spectators watching those 2 matches, Padilla Tsuchiya and Barnes Milligan, and this is the point where Lucas is moving the camera here.
Yeah, we got heads in front of the camera. Now it's adjusted.
Ooh, Linda Barnes got away with one there. 3-6-10 right through the nose.
Well, with the spare, she's up 12.
Yeah, that could have been a lot worse, though, for her.
Missy Parkin might try to make a run here at jumping O'Keefe. She's got the front 4. Shannon just kind of stumbling along here. Shannon's certainly going to lose, it looks like, to Kulik at the way things are going. And now Missy with the front 5. It's not out of the realm of possibility that Missy could jump to the number 2 spot.
Look at the talent we're going to have on this show.
Yeah, it's going to be a great show.
Wow.
Yeah, Kulik, O'Keefe, Parkin, Nation, and then potentially Barnes or Milligan. Brenda Padilla, just another 2-8. She just doesn't have good ball reaction on that pair. Things not looking good
on
for
any
her.
Of them. She's had 2-8 or 2-8-10 in 4 straight frames.
Yep. And Linda Barnes, 12-pin lead on Tennille Milligan. The way things are going here, it's looking like the winner of this Barnes-Milligan match is going to make the show.
And Shannon O'Keefe with the strike. So she's 97 through 5 with a strike up in the 6th.
Linda Barnes, 5th frame. Good
perfect.
shot.
Yeah, that was just perfect. Well, this is what I guess what Chris means when you call a bowler a shot maker. That 3-6-10 spare is a good example of being a shot maker under pressure, perfectly converted, no suspense at all. And then they come right back with a strike. So she's actually on pace for that famed Dutch 200.
Nation gets a double. Chance for Milligan to pull to within 2 if she strikes on her next shot right here.
Hasn't struck on this lane in this match yet.
Last time she left that 9-pin that made her a little bit angry, but like Jason Milligan said, she bowls better when she's angry, so let's see. She looks pretty angry right now. She gives that 9-pin the business.
Not as angry as she was after her last game last night.
Yeah.
And I cannot repeat what our lobby conversation was like.
Boy, had she left that 9-pin again, look at her.
Yeah, she might have gone down the lane after it.
She may have. Missy finally missed. She leaves the 10-pin in the 6th. This is the match to watch thus far between Milligan and Barnes as Kulik continues to strike, and we'll see if she can keep that up tomorrow on the show.
And she's
This
only
is
going to have to bowl once.
A potential lead-changing shot here from Milligan. She can take the lead with a strike. Gets the 4 to go late. How about
Pardon
that?
me. That was the same strike that Linda had earlier, almost identical.
Brenda Padilla down 25 after 5 frames in her match. Things looking not so good for Brenda Padilla. O'Keefe
Yes,
gets
sir.
a double. She's trying to hang on to that number 2 spot, and the more strikes she throws, the more likely it is that that will happen. Especially with Missy finally missing. Here's Linda, a chance to take back the lead by 2 if she strikes. It's online.
Nope,
Week
10 pin.
Yep.
And here's Missy.
It's a good shot. Brenda finally got a strike. Finally got out of that funk of leaving the 2-8 combination.
So Tennille Milligan with the, nope, Shannon's not going to get that 7 pin to drop. Tennille Milligan had an open to start the match, fell behind early.
Yep, she's leading by 8 pins right now on Linda Barnes.
And
the match has turned pretty quick here since Barnes has been unable to double.
This has been her lane here, though. She struck every time on this left lane. Yeah, the pace she's on, 200 is not going to cut it, I don't think.
No, she's going to need more.
Not against Tennille, yeah.
This is a big frame here for Linda, 7th. It's coming up light, mixes them up for the strike.
Well, if they could just bowl on one lane, she'd have a perfect
yeah,
game.
that's right. She's got to figure out that right lane, and she has to finish on the right lane, too.
Yep. But these are both nice
Stephanie Nation,
yes.
With the 210 conversion.
I was going to say, but between Tennille Milligan and Linda Barnes, you've got so much experience, major championships, Team USA, international competition. They know how to make adjustments.
By the way, Brenda Padilla is out now. She just left a split in the 7th and opened 110 in the 7th, and she's done. She won't make the show.
So we're essentially looking at a battle for 5th.
Yep.
Essentially, we are.
The winner of this game is on the show, and Milligan can go up 18. That's light, 2-4-5.
She'll tell you, she's not angry that time, almost more relieved than anything else.
With the spare, she'll be up by 5 with 3 frames to go, and Linda, the slight advantage with the strike, and Chris Barnes looks like his heart's about to beat out of his chest over there.
He's got that, that smile that says everything's okay, but it's not.
No, he's going to lose it here pretty soon.
Speaking of losing it, Stephanie Nation washes out in the 8th.
Yeah, and if the people behind her were bowling anything of substance, then Stephanie might be in some trouble. But Linda and Tennille not really bowling in big enough games to double jump her.
No. Kelly Kulik will be the number 1 seed. Number 2 seed. Up for grabs, you think, or no? You think?
Well, it's hard to say. O'Keefe can shoot 226,
but not
Parkin
win.
and Parkin can shoot 279 and win. That would be about an 80 pin swing or so, but it's possible. It certainly is possible. Look at the Milligan Barnes scoreboard with Milligan up 5, 3 frames to go.
And waiting on.
Here we go.
Tennille. Yep.
It's light. Leaves the 7. That could have been a lot worse. So now a 4-pin lead for Tennille. And it's going to be, the ball's going to be in Linda's court here in the 8th.
But she's got the right lane coming in the 8th, and that's the lane she hasn't figured out yet.
Chris Barnes.
Oh, that's a good spot, Chris, actually. My back's been bothering me, so right there. Thanks, buddy. The powerful right hand of Chris Barnes.
I think Chris is coming up here because he gets a better view of what's going on.
Just pacing at this point.
He's
Either
nervous.
that or he's going to give me the Vulcan nerve pinch and I'm going to be out.
So Tennille with the spare. Yeah, Chris saying she needs to figure out this right lane. There's Chris. You can see how nervous he is. Hands above his head. This is a big shot coming up for Linda.
At stake is the final spot on our television show to be taped tomorrow night.
Missy's still striking. It's still possible she could get to the number 2 seed. Here's Linda, a chance to take a 6-pin lead with a strike for a double here, 8th frame. Oh,
Well,
the light
got
hit
it.
carries.
Got the light. So Tennille had 2 light hits and didn't get the carry, and Linda has had now both of her strikes have been light hits, and they did carry.
So that's a double for Barnes, and now she takes a 6-pin lead with 2 frames to go and a chance to go up 16 heading into the 10th frame. Here's Stephanie Nation kind of sputtering to the finish, only 137 in the 8th frame.
That's surprising because she has been as good as anybody today. That's how she got herself in a position to make the show, which we're pretty sure she's still going to hang on to. Now, this is the friendly lane so far for Linda. The left lane, she's hit every time. Ten pins.
Yep, so Linda will be up 5.
Come down to who can manage the 10th frame better. Simple as that.
Exactly.
That's what you want.
And Linda's max score is 219. Tennille can strike out for 224. So Tennille will have a chance to strike out to shut her out here in the 9th and the 10th.
In the 9th and the 10th, all right. Padilla with a double in the 8th and 9th, but she's behind. Barnes will convert the 10. Missy Parkin could shoot a 279, and I'm not ruling it out. Kelly Kulik should be able to beat Shannon O'Keefe here. And
just doing a little math on the O'Keefe-Parkin thing here.
All right.
Parkin can go 109 over this game. Shannon O'Keefe strikes on the field for 204. It would be 105 difference. That means if Parkin strikes out, she'd get the number 2 seed. Here's Milligan. Needs them all for the shutout here. 9th and 10th, it's light again, and it's a 2-4. And Barnes will enter the 10th frame with at least a 7-pin lead here. Nation shoots 164.
That's very surprising.
She was 89 pins above 5th, so I don't think there's any chance that there's no chance Linda or Tennille can jump her. So
Kelly locks up.
They both can't jump her, I should
Right.
clarify. One of them could, but it doesn't really matter because it would be the 4th, 5th.
All right, Milligan. Oh,
wow.
Barely converted that.
It's going to come down to the 10th frame for the last spot on the show.
Why not? 7 pins separate the two.
They both 39 games and 9 frames, and it comes down to 1 frame.
So Tennille has spared, struck, spared on this lane. Linda.
Missy needs a double on the 10th to take the top seed, or 2nd seed, I should say.
To take the top seed, Kelly would have to leave. Missy would have to bowl about 4 games.
It's not the top seed, the 2nd
by herself.
seed. That's right. So 2 things happening here at once. And this is a huge 10th frame for Milligan here. Basically, Linda just has to match whatever Tennille does, and that would be enough.
All right, but let's see. But Linda will be on a lane that's giving her some problems.
Yep, and if Tennille doubles, that means Linda has to double.
And someone has commented.
Oh, a 4-6-7 split. And that, my friends, is going to do it for Tennille Milligan.
Well, unless Tennille comes up with the same shot she threw in the first frame when she had a 4-6 and almost
Well, we
know. If she quickly gets rid of it, she knows.
We don't see pins bounce around here very much.
No.
And, it wasn't going to happen. So Linda just needs a couple of pins and count here. And
Third
that's
straight U.S. Open show
Missy
for Linda.
over there just struck to get the number 2 seed. I think Missy just needs some count on her last ball.
Linda basically has to just not foul. And
essentially.
And
even if she fouls, she would still have an opportunity to redeem it. She'd need to get the spare if she fouled, but not going to happen.
No.
There's Linda.
Not her best ball
6.
either.
Doesn't matter. It's all she needed, I think. Let's see.
Yep,
191.
Wow.
So she wins by 3, even if she gets none of them.
And you know what? If you're Brenda Padilla, you just kick yourself when you go to bed tonight.
Yeah,
because
shoots 157.
Someone in the chat room made an excellent point before the match started. If neither Linda or Tennille Milligan rolls it well, and Padilla does, she could take over. Missy Parkin, 279. Yep. Wow.
So she beats Shannon O'Keefe by 75 pins this game. They weren't bowling each other, but the difference is Missy picks up the 30 bonus pins, which puts her 5 pins ahead of Shannon. So the show is going to be Kelly Kulick,
okay,
Shannon O'Keefe, Missy Parkin, Stephanie Nation, and Linda Barnes.
So
Linda
Missy
Barnes,
did not get the number 2 seed.
Well, I'm just saying those are the 5 that are on the show.
Well, looky there.
Oh, a little hug action going on.
You know, for Linda, this has got to be a little bit emotional. Her frustration at the Queens and being hurt, not being able to continue. She's had injuries every year that she's had to fight through, shoulder surgery. Doubts, I'm sure, have crept into her mind. For her, this is a big deal. It has to mean a lot.
Yeah, so Linda survives with a 193-188 victory over Tennille Milligan to get that last spot on the show. And I don't believe that it was enough. No, it wasn't enough for Linda to pass Stephanie. So the seedings on the show will be Kelly number 1, Kelly Kulick first, Missy Parkin second, Shannon O'Keefe third, Stephanie Nation fourth, and Linda Barnes fifth. That's unofficial.
So
of course,
Stephanie Nation, Linda Barnes will be our first match tomorrow night when we begin to tape. So Linda's made 3 straight open shows. Stephanie Nation makes both the women's TV shows this year, the Queens and the U.S. Women's Open. Kelly Kulick back on TV, Missy Parkin back on TV. Nice show. And Shannon O'Keefe, her second straight U.S. Open show. So that ain't bad. There's Shannon. And you think about her at the U.S. Open last year in Texas. It wasn't her best day. And I'm sure that'll be on her mind a little bit as she gets ready to try to capture that title, her first major. Incredibly talented player who's done wonders for Team USA, but for herself is still missing that little extra validation. And Lucas is going to head down and try to grab one of the ladies. I'm not sure who, but we'll figure it out. Maybe whoever the first one he can
let's
get.
see if we can get Linda here for a second.
Oh, there they are. Yeah, Mark Baker and Linda having a hug.
Well, Linda, it was a tough finish, and you pull it out just barely.
I hate bowling my friend. I mean, they're all my friends, but I hate bowling like Tennille, and I hate what happened to her. And I'm excited, and I'm hurting, and I'm tired, and I want a glass of wine. No, I mean, Pepsi, and
Tell her not to mix wine and Pepsi. Linda, it's got to be one or the other.
Dave Lamont says don't mix wine and Pepsi. It has to be one or the other.
Okay. Well, if I have to, then it's wine, Dave, just for you.
That a girl.
How are you feeling physically? I know that you've overcome a lot.
I'm going to go find a doctor tonight or tomorrow and see if we can get a little quick help because it's pretty sore. Yeah, because I bowled bad today. I pulled down a lot of shots and my timing was really off, and when I bowl bad, it hurts. So we'll find a way. I'm excited and I'm overwhelmed and I'm tired and everything. You know, I feel bad for Tennille and I'm happy for the other girls and thank you to everybody BPAA for putting this on and can't wait till tomorrow.
How rewarding is it for you to advance to the show after all you've been through in the last few months?
Well, I'm losing my mind. I don't know if you can tell because I booked my flight literally a week ago because I didn't know if I could bowl. And it sounds silly, and I feel like I've been repeating myself about retiring, but it just, the body's not doing so well. And mentally, I still want to compete, but it's hard. So to be able to play at this level and beat these and play with these girls and be amongst these girls that are so great, I'm overwhelmed and crazy.
What are your thoughts on having her on the ladder tomorrow?
Once we get started, we're okay. So I'm just going to take it one game at a time and try not to hurt myself any worse. And, and then we'll see what happens. We'll have some fun because this is a once-in-a-lifetime.
Yeah, and your thoughts on bowling outside? It's been a little windy out there. What are you thinking?
We've been in here, so I don't even know. It's the same for everybody. So whatever it is, and we'll just try and put on a good show and showcase bowling and go have some fun.
Cool. Congrats. Good bowling.
Oh, I don't doubt that bowling will be well showcased. We've got an incredible show all the way around with Kelly Kulick at the top seed. We think Missy Parkin will be the number 2 seed. Number 3 seed, Shannon O'Keefe. Number 4, Stephanie Nation. You heard from the 5th seed, Linda Barnes, her 3rd consecutive U.S. Open show.
Got Missy Parkin here.
Yeah, let's go. Hey,
Missy, what a great finish. 279. I think you got up to the number 2 spot. Is that right? You had to know that was going to be a possibility in that last game. You weren't quite out of the wood yet. What was the mindset going into that final game?
I just wanted to make sure that I hit my target every single shot, make good shots, and hopefully the pins fell my way. I knew I was 100 pins back from Shannon. So I needed to pop a really big game. I also needed to win the match against Stephanie just to even stay in 3rd. But I was able to jump up into 2nd place, so that's awesome.
Yeah, did you feel like that maybe shooting 279 at the end there might give you a little more momentum going in, and it's one last match you have to bowl on the show. It's one step closer to the title.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I started the day out today in 2nd place. I definitely didn't want to go any further down than that. I wanted to try to catch Kelly. Things didn't go very well early. I did not win a lot of matches today, so to finish on a good note definitely feels really good.
What are your thoughts on the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to bowl under the Reno Arch outside here in downtown Reno on Virginia Street?
I'm excited. I'm very excited. I've never got to bowl outside before. Done the PBA Summer Series, and I participated in that after they stopped doing it outside, so it's pretty cool that now I get to bowl outside.
Missy Parkin, thank you very much. Congratulations on making the show. Good bowling.
Thanks.
Yeah, she was brilliant in that last game, and brilliant pretty much throughout. So you've got, just think about this, you got Kelly Kulick and Missy Parkin, probably the 2 best women bowlers the last couple of years. You've got Linda Barnes still fighting through the pain to get that 5th spot. Shannon O'Keefe, who's certainly due to win a major, too talented to not have a major on her resume. And Stephanie Nation, who made the Queen's show and now has the opportunity to has made the U.S. Open show. And another bowler, physically gifted, works hard. You're talking about an O'Keefe and Nation, 2 athletes as bowlers. And Lucas, you're waving at me. You have someone?
Yeah, I got Kelly Kulick here. Kelly, safe to say that you pretty much dominated the competition here so far this week through the 40 games, but still one more game to go, huh?
Yeah, I had a mission after bowling so well last year, and getting in that stadium and just not showing up the last game was very disappointing. I guess I carried it all the way over to this year, and I had a similar performance, so I have one more game to close out. I am not going to let that get by me without finishing it out this year.
Yeah, you look like you were on a mission here today to get that top seed. You bowled just out of your mind today. You threw a lot of strikes, and how do you feel about how you bowled today in this position round and the whole day?
Well, last night I came out after having a struggling first block just to get to that final round, and I just wanted to have the same feel that I had last night. Obviously, I did have it today. I used a totally different ball, but in the same portion of the lane that allowed me to be in that comfort zone. Still made a couple bad shots and missed some spares I shouldn't have, but I just wanted to go in tomorrow knowing that I can throw it and feel very comfortable, and knowing I'm ready to guarantee $20,000. That's a huge weight off my shoulders.
What did you learn last year at Cowboy Stadium that you're going to use this year on the lanes under the Reno Arch to help you win the title?
I think I thought about it too much. I knew the outside factor could be there with the environment in the stadium of like, oh, well, I know it's a different venue, so maybe I was expecting the unexpected. This year, I mean, come on, it doesn't get any more different, any more greater than bowling under the arches with the wind factor. I was going to pull a Rodney Dangerfield and see what happens. So I'm going to go out there and bowl the pins. Regardless of the situation, whether it's windy, whether people are loud or not, I'm just going to put myself in a little vacuum and bowl one good game.
Great, Kelly Kulik. Thanks. Good luck tomorrow on the show. It's always great to see you there. So congratulations and good luck tomorrow. Nice bowling.
Thank you.
Lucas, we're going to send you back up here because your equipment's starting to go and your batteries. Have you probably heard some of that? So thanks to the ladies. And what a great day here in Reno. Great bowling. And how are you going to complain about this field for the U.S. Women's Open to be run on ESPN2 July 3rd, a tape telecast? Kelly Kulik, number 1, Missy Parker, number 2, Shannon O'Keefe, number 3, Stephanie Nation, number 4, and Linda Barnes, number 5. Stepladder format, the classic. And Linda, you're 4th? She may be number 4. She came up in either that or she's telling me I owe her $4. I don't think that's the case. So however it works out, the first match will be Linda Barnes and Stephanie Nation.
And they're getting ready to announce the 5 finalists here. They're announcing the full 16 standings. And then they're going to present the top 5 for the show and have them come out to the crowd and get a nice round of applause.
Brenda Padilla dropped all the way to 9th. And as I should have known, Linda Barnes was correct. She is 4th.
No, you're looking at the old sheet. That's from yesterday. This is today.
She's 5th. I am sorry.
Yep, it's 30 pins difference. Here's the top 5 announced by John Lasita.
Finals of the 2012 Bowling's U.S. Women's Open, presented by the Brands of Ebonite International. In 5th place, with a score of 90-77, with a bonus equaling 92-27, from Double Oak, Texas, Linda Barnes. She will compete in the first match against her 4th place qualifier with a score of 92-57 from Grand Prairie, Texas, Stephanie Nation. The winner will then advance to the second match with a score of 94-30 from Arlington, Texas, Shannon O'Keefe. The winner of that match will then hold the second place qualifier with a score of 94-35 from Lake Forest, California, Missy Parker. High qualifier with a score of 98-60 from Union, New Jersey, Miss Kelly Kulik. The top 5 qualifiers for the U.S. Women's Open. The finals will take place tomorrow night at 7 o'clock on Virginia Street. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, how about one nice final round of applause for the top 16?
Well, Dave, we just got the final standings in, and you want to talk about dominating the field. Kelly Kulik led the field by 425 pins.
And I really enjoyed her comments in your interview because she is, I don't want to say haunted by what happened last year to her when she was the number 1 seed. But it's on her mind. And when you're a champion, you often learn from your mistakes more than you learn from your successes. She didn't bowl well in that championship game last year. Leanne Hulsenberg beat her soundly. It's going to be interesting to see how she reacts to being in the exact same position in another unique setting. Last year at Cowboy Stadium, this year outdoors, against whomever she winds up playing. You look at the first match, Stephanie Nation, training for marathons. Linda Barnes, going to the doctor.
Yeah.
It's just it's Linda's experience and mental toughness that is her strength right now, as she's confessing that thoughts of retirement have come into play. Awaiting them, Shannon O'Keefe, the one-time it girl in bowling when she came out. Too talented, as I said this 3 times already, but an enormously talented bowler. Is this her time? Is this going to be the first major? She made the show last year. Missy Parkin, Queen's champion in 2011, has bowled against everybody. Really, she's like another Liz Johnson in a way. Takes on all comers and does very well against them. Can she complete, and her resume with a second major, and then Kelly waiting there at the top. It's an unbelievable show. If you follow bowling, you're not going to do any better than this on either tour. This would be like taking practically the 5 best men's players and putting them out there to determine the U.S. Open for the men.
Yeah, it's going to be a great show, no doubt about it. And we hope that everybody will tune in on July 3rd,
yes.
8 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN2 for the Dave and Chris show, although I think the ladies will probably
more
steal
like
the
the Chris show. There's security we have to deal with him. It's just brutal.
Well, that's going to wrap things up. Congratulations to our 5 finalists. We'll have a recap of all the action on bowl.com in just a little while, so if you want to read more about it, you can read it there. But thank you very much for tuning in for our broadcast. You can find a schedule of our upcoming live stream events on bowl.com/livestream. Dave Lamont, thank you for sitting in. Good luck with the show.
Thank you, Lucas. I'm always very happy to be here with you. I can't tell you, I tune in when I can when you're out all around the world, and certainly appreciate what you and Jason do. And I know the bowling world appreciates it too. So, and thank you for all the comments and the chats from everybody. Certainly thank you guys for keeping up with our sport.
Thank you, Dave. And that's all for now from the National Bowling Stadium. For Jason Overstreet, who did a great job on the cameras here today. Thanks for watching. I'm Lucas Wiseman. We will see you next time here on Bowl TV. Good evening, everybody.